Almamo withdraw a weapon, and then these people are armed. Whatever happened there, rules of engagement come in. So Almamo unfortunately happened to die in the due process of engagement.
Barbitun silang Almamo la kuo ko sojaro la sarto liafanya makafoko rules of engagement. Ning ko tata ke hanufo benta kenening kene Almamo fana ye kido le bondi woto wo kidi bondo ning ayatra nimmenu benta o nya ya bungo kono woto mo safono afata kelole kono me ya lonko anin dolle benta keloko.
You see, these matters are usually decided in a court of law. Unfortunately, it's not usually left only to the military. It is left to lawyers and judges. I can tell you that even in your rules of engagement, this is murder.
Rules of engagement
But we have recorded what you have said. It would be considered. And those who are to make decisions on these matters would do so. Let's just agree that you say that the rules of engagement permit his killing.
Rules of engagement
okay?
Sir, yes, sir. Let me comment, sir. If, with due respect, sir.
Ning konga fanyamin animbunya ning hormokang.
If people take arms and ammunition and when an attack is staged are being branded as heroes, I think those who went there to make sure they make sure the constitution of the country has been followed and stopped him or whosoever it is, I have also the right to say they apply the rules of engagement. That's where I'm talking from, sir.
Mbeme mfoka wonya ko sarto ya itandi nyamin. Nimmo soronta me ya lonko. Ay jorangota banko kama la mansakunda kama. Adum molle fanal bije men ya lonko ila lotan kan wonyenti pour ka banko kanta wala pour ka wo kolu no masata. Bitun nin ko nata ke wo kono. Ko nga fu nyamin wolem sarto ti ka fu men ko rules of engagement amunta na mari fota ni wala wo kono. Bitu de
Mr. Jallow,
ni matra mole tido sikala itata kaman sa kaboy kaman sa kunda kan kawo bonni je molbe sila bi ko wol ku birol leti so wa sabu fana ni modo fana modo kunta kata ka fa bena man sale ko bila je anata na ke ni otuta je wol fana is a legitimate like ka ko that is rules of engagement have been applied
bolem nyindi ko amunta afata ko kono nyamin amunta sarto lu fana ya landi nyamin wala kata dalilo ti me ya fa.
All right.
Yes, the reason why I'm saying that, song is, yes. The reason why I'm saying that because Almamo, the difference between Almamo and Landesane, from what I heard, Landesane trying to run away and escape. These guys pull out a weapon towards the other group. So obviously you wouldn't give him the chance. There is no one shot in there. This is close contact. One have to go.
Yo, between Kokwal Nataka Nyame, Hani Landesane Fanana Konia Jube, at a left of Borla Numpurka Boji. Yo bitun wo kono le fana mu menye keta anata ke ate fanana waire telu amunta ninkumu ibebe wo selakili ngole kanga itelu nyimo fulolo.
Mr. Jallow,
Almamo and arrested landing. The mission must arrest all of them.
Yo amunta ila hamo nyelti nundo ko amanka ko be landinda mamutala ilafta itelu mo fulo bele mutalo nu.
Okay, we won't enter into a debate on that issue. You have stated your position. It's noted.
And let me make this clear, I wasn't there.
Exactly. Yes, but your position has been noted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Haruna Jamme. Yaya Jammeh ordered his killing.
Yaya Jammeh ikangodi buru yafa.
From what he told me, because of what Tumbul told him, and it coincided all the animals were dying.
Yes.
Ayole fonyede ko Tumbuli kumo memfae katu ala bula fengolo wole mnyimbe yangaluti ulubebe faka nung andu inata kumo memfae wole yosabu.
And Jasaja Kujabi is the same thing.
Andu Jasaba Kujabi onyakino nyamale.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Ha.
Okay. Masi Jammeh, it's the same thing.
Masi Jammeh ofana wonyakil wonyamala.
Could you answer now?
Yes, sir.
Ha.
And Sise
And
Bujiling?
sir, I was never present in all these things. It's a hearsay.
Yes.
Ntije nyimbe mu kumaleti ya memfonyi.
Sise Bujiling dum.
Sise and Sise
Yes, sir.
Bujiling too. So,
Obviously, yes, sir.
and these are all confessions by Yaya Jammeh.
Andu ñu be mu kuma kan len me alon ko Yaya Jammeh fa son dala.
Discussions, yes, sir.
Ha, asonta.
Okay. So for now, we have 4 clear ones, 4 clear murder cases by Yaya Jammeh, and 1 attempted murder on Usman Silla.
Silang mo nani me yalon ko yollel fa andungol be Yaya Jammeh le yamaro di wala ani mo kilim me yalon ko wul silo wulindita kamma pour ka fa wala Usman Silla.
So Almamo Mane has not been counted.
But Almamo Mane mo konti.
Yes, I wouldn't count him as someone being murdered. I would count him as someone who took away arms and ammunition, attempted to overthrow a legitimate government.
Yes.
Wala mnyinti almamo ni aje nga fuko mate konti. Ni moyo jorango ta kido ninkeso purka mansakunda boy ndi membe siring woto womari ning kuna takiala alawo fero lukono wodalilo le yasabu nko sartolu lanya wole atefa.
Okay. So now we agree. We have 4 clear cases of murder by Yaya Jammeh and 1 case of attempted murder, depending on whose statement you accept.
Mo nani nga wala soro men ya lonko wol be fata ndu Yaya Jammeh ya maroko tay fata wol to anin kilim me ya lonko ye hamo wulinda kam pour ka fa bari anatna kana.
Okay. All right.
So
now,
can I reiterate this, please? One thing I want to say here again.
You were not there. It's all hearsay.
No, I'm saying here, I was like a son to Jammeh. He called me son.
Yes.
Well, this is between me and the country and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right.
Whatever I'm going to say here, it's not going to be to favor Jammeh, neither favor whosoever. I'm not here to please anybody, but I am here to tell the truth between me and Allah and the Holy Quran. So let me make this crystal clear to every Gambian who is watching.
In fact, that is the reason why we gave you the Quran to swear. So we won't ask you to say anything that is a lie. All we ask you is to speak the truth, the 100% truth. Okay. So now let's go to the other killings by Yaya Jammeh. Of course, there was the killing of Ndongo Mbub.
Sir, we've never discussed that, sir.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. How about Soldau and Mahawa Cham?
I've never discussed that with Jammeh as well. I think those people were killed when I was not even in the country at the time. I left the Gambia in 2010.
In fact, 2010.
But you were here in 2005 when Daba Marena, Ibulo, Alfaba, Aliou Cisse, and Mandrafi Kaur were callously executed.
Sorry,
2006, March 2006.
March karo kono biri enyi mol fa enyi mol men tol fota me alon ko Daba Marena wole nyatam ko ya.
Sir, yes, sir.
And they were ordered killed by Yaya Jammeh?
Anu Yaya Jammeh le yamaro di pour yefa.
Sir, yes, I can explain in detail, sir, if you give me the chance, sir.
Please go ahead.
Let me start with this.
Go ahead.
Billahi. Wallahi. Tallahi. What Malik Jatta said about me there, he is lying, sir.
Malik Jatta
I have never ever handed anybody among those people to them. In fact, I traveled with Yahya Jammeh to Mauritania on that day. I was not in the country at the time.
Mandara banko kamfang utumo.
Mr. Jallow.
Mr. Jallow.
Yes, sir.
This story is fairly long. So let's try to condense it. Please go ahead.
So when the news broke in Dakar, sorry, in Mauritania, there's a coup plot back home.
Birinyin kumo wanyarta Mauritania ko kudeta fero lebe Gambia.
I was the oddly at the time, so Jammeh called me inside the house.
Otumonte mu oddly leti, bitu otumolen Jammeh fango yente kumandi bungo kono.
But before this, I used to have very disturbing dreams, and I keep telling him, sir, there's a betrayal, I don't know where it's coming from. So he called me to say, you see, what you've been telling me all along, it had happened today. There's a coup plot back home.
Bari nying janninga eke nga de unkolu soto nka sibo manewulula. Bari ila kumo labango de Michael dropped ale kote ke ila kuma labangulu.
He called me to tell me what you were telling me is true. So Daba was there, Musa Jammeh was there, and Tumbul Tamba were there.
Ay nkumandi ka foko memfonye tonyala katu Musa Jammeh bije Daba bije Tumbul Tamba fanam bije.
So what happened was, like, according to what they were out there, what Daba book information. So instead of telling Jammeh, he told Tumbul Tamba.
Bitunkuwa na takenya membiringa nyinkuwa ufindita. Daba man fem fo ya Jammeh bara kuma nyin kuma kan nyin cika aya fu Tumbul Tambale.
So Tumbul Tamba, instead of waiting for them to dig the information, so instead I went told Jammeh.
Tumbul Tamba fanam puru janning pur kanyin kibaro bonyoto ka jube amaokere ate silole mutadronga tata Jammeh.
At this stage,
in Temben,
was Tumbul in the very good books of Yaya Jammeh?
For Tumbul, ani Yaya Jammeh benung kulun kilina bang.
No, because Yaya Jammeh, in fact, if you look at it, he changed Tumbul from Kanilai and put Ibulo there because he came to understand Tumbul was doing so many things that he didn't ask him to do, and that his name was being tarnished in the image of Gambian people.
Wotumoni ajube Yaya malla Tumbul la fon kato anata falin ne fang Kanilai ay Tumbul bondije anata Ibulo kije kato wotumo nyinjeta ko Tumbul abulona da aka kujama le tamandi meni alonko imanke kuluti menu sahata.
That's what we call occult missions. He do missions on his name using Yaya Jammeh's name.
Aka wuli aka fansunkuolu tamandi me yalonko Yaya Jammeh bukaba kala mabari ataka deng Yaya Jammeh tolela ka foko anganyin kukari ka yamunta yale akiala.
So he removed Tumbul and took Ibulo there.
Wala na Tumbul mume obondije ay Ibulo saindi ala palasoto.
So when this thing happened, so Tumbul had to try and win Jammeh's confidence. There was a confrontation between them in Mauritania, and then I was with them, to be honest, because
bitum briwo keta Tumbul fanambe fero membe ke kan wolem nyintiko puru ani Yaya Jammeh sina dia lanno ye muru itema bitum ko nyin nata ke wala nyama hanfo na nyim Mauritania takono nyin kolu nata sangara la wala nyama.
That's why I said earlier, if you look at it before the coup, Yaya Jammeh wanted to disband the junglers because so many things were happening that he never gave instruction to.
Bitum ne ajube hani janni o fango Yaya Jammeh ku jamalu be ke kanu nyin jongla sol la karola men ya lonko Yaya fango buke bo kalama ando buke bulala.
So tell us about the Daba Marena issue. Go ahead.
Daba Marena so when that confrontation started, Salif Kaur name was mentioned.
Sane bringa kumo fota inata sane fango to fanam fojele.
Salif Kaur or Manlafi Kaur?
Salif Kaur and Manlafi Kaur. So they were saying it's Salif Kaur. That's why the confusion started.
Salif Kaur and Manlafi Kaur. Bari be Salif le fokanum wole lunyoto nyinati.
And I told them, no, Salif Kaur at the time, I think he was in Sudan. I said he's not even in the country.
Wala nantena ata foyenko hani Salif Kaur ata keno la utikati wo tembo wobe Sudan le nga foyenko Salif Kaur hani Bangkokang.
But Jammeh was very furious with Daba and saying, Daba, before telling Tumbul, why didn't you tell me? And Daba was saying, sir, I wanted to dig into the information and know before I give you information which is not correct.
Bria fa Jammeh ya kamfata Daba kamabake ako Daba ite nyin kibaro soto munan na ibafola Tumbul Tambaye imanna kibaro nyin dinte fangola ya tumbe Daba ka ko ha namana foyi lefta ko nyin jube la nga koto jube fo nsi kuma ko yo soto tonya nsina o foyi jannimina ko mo nyin satale mammen kalangolo.
So to cut story short, this is how we came back, and then we were escorted with the Mauritanian Special Forces. They also came with us.
Between Kupuruka Kosuti and the drone, Akatatene, between Kona Takaonya, Utumolo, Fanaluna, Seinang. But bring Satan and Fanang, it will many alonko, Lano Mankela, between Mbele Tatanola, Dolu Samba, Dol Tata Wolanyama Kasai.
And Murtanin Kolas and special Fango Lense.
Murtanin Kolu, well found Yense in Dinang, Ila Fansum Ferola.
No. Ni be plane killing. Ni be avion killing.
Ni be plane killing Lacono.
In fact, I remember because at the time everyone was like quiet somewhere with their counting bits, and I said, listen, why do we have this mutation here? We are soldiers, we are commandos. We going. Those who will die. Those who will survive. I said we don't need them because they don't even know who is who when if a fight broke up at the airport.
Ya bari bitum men na takidi amoti wala na dolu nyum foko munana nyilube kafulam jang kadun molu bentol fanal kono jam men mu sojarol ti men mu commando luti so mune yo sabu pour nie na nyola abako min abunta ko wolle bentol dandan kannan aha yedam dula men fo airport la koto.
In fact, I called Aliou Cisse. Jame asked me to call Aliou Cisse and ask him to man, I think, the airport together with Faring Sanya.
Yo wadalilo ya sabu ya Jame ente kumanda ko na Aliou Cisse kumandi pour wonim Faring Sanyang wolu sikulunti la jidula nyimuta.
Because Aliou Cisse was someone Jammeh trusted, and he just see him like a son. He liked him more than any other person at the time.
Katotumo Aliou Cisse fanang anin Jammeh temo lanna bale bije andun Jammeh amutale fanko adingo. So
when we arrived at the airport and then we all went away, so Jammeh, myself and other people, we came to the State House. Sirimodu Jaya received us at the airport.
Bitun birinna tam fata kulunti la jidula to mobe tate ya bitun te Jammeh ani mo kotengolun telle tata nyola kata State House.
So when we arrived at the State House, Daba Marena came up, he told Jammeh, sir, don't worry, I'll get to the bottom of this. But from Tumbul's body language, it's like he wasn't very comfortable. And then Jammeh went inside. It's just when you went inside the building, there's a small corridor with Daba, and I was the odd I was going inside. Tumbul followed us there, and then he wanted to listen.
Adunia ju be brim from the State House. Daba yenyino fo yaya enko sa nyinko mbe akwo no masatala le hanfo ngabula ngafuta dangoma ko men ketaje bari ni ajube tumbulu dal akwo nyi mansono yate bulu kato hanin be dunna bungo kono tumo men pour kata diamu ate tumbulu bulatan nomale nyin kamala pour asalo membita fola.
So we went inside, and then there were so many telephone calls here and there.
Mbe kono to jede bari telephone commander jamal leketa commandirolu façon jamalu botakara jamalla wolu ketale otumo.
And then Tumbul find this as an opportunity now to get closer to Jammeh. He organized his jungler groups.
Otumo lem Tumbul fana fero soto purasi nakika kata Jammeh ayala jongla solu fana la kolu katandina nyola otumo le pro anisi lo kapare kolula.
So here the Gambia is in a dark position where there was an attempted coup d'etat.
Your mic has dropped. Yamire ila mic jube.
I said, so he took advantage of the situation.
Nyinom kolu fana lula nyati abota nyoto nyami.
So in fact there was a problem between Musa Jammeh because Tumbul, according to Musa Jammeh, people have been arrested and beaten in town.
Yo wala la fana Tumbulu fana ni Musa Jammeh temo amantra diari mbake kato tumo molu soto ndameni alonko keta moleti melu muta sate kono.
Ibe bute
kan nyungle ha utumo ibe bute kan.
And then Musa Jammeh found that that's not right, and then he went and told Tumbul, let them stop it. If they want to beat anybody, let them take them to NIA and beat them.
Utumo le Musa Jammeh tata Tumbulu kan akai nyumembe ke kanteng amambete ala bula. Ni lafta momondi mbute la ye muta ye samba NIA sine bute woto.
And they'll make sure before they beat anyone to know whether he or she is part of it.
Andung ay nyum fanam fayen ko al namano momondi lipa fanang ali feroke ali ya long fodum tonya nyimari dabije le fa datiji.
So Tumbul called at the State House. I received this switchboard. He said he want to speak to Jame, and he spoke to Jame.
Utumolen Tumbul found at a commandiro ke State House switchboard auto. Bitu akala fita diamula Jame, bitun telefonanga shabu, hanifo anin Jame diamuta.
When they spoke, Jame called me and I quote, he said to me, SAIKOU, I said, yes sir. He said, tell Tumbul, tell Musa Jame to bring his tail back to the State House. Tail, underline the word tail, that's his word.
Watumolen Jame kaudi intefanana koya for Tumbul taba ikai munati. Aya fenyo akasa for Musa Jame aya fenyo nati State House. Kuma kango amunta ate ya fonte wonyala ko Musa Jame sa a fenyo nati State House.
So Musa Jame being my boss, I just asked him, I said, I told him, I said, Jame said, you come to the State House, allow Tumbul to be there. So when Musa came, he said to me, did Tumbul call you? I said, yes sir, he did. Between
Otumolem, Birim Musa Jamenata, Kumo Memfonyanka and Koha, Tonyala, Jameko, Itena, Mutumbul Tambasi Tuje, I tentenga bemena.
Musa said to me, SAIKOU, this man don't know what is happening. Tumbul is misleading, and then Tumbul doesn't want the whole truth to come out. This is why he don't want me there.
So Tumolem Musa Konye SAIKOU, Nimantara Tonya Fokang Abe Filindirolela. Wodali lole ya sabu amalla fi prunte etaraji puratis ki continue kolu la lafta menkela mole me ya lonko abe filindirol la tende.
So in between and then the 4-day body
between wotembo la eko 4-day body
and other NIs, then we start having their numbers and we are calling and passing calls to them.
Utumolem kumandirol beke kang u kumandirol men fanalo nimme kumandiro ke ngala kumandiro soto e sulata men na agency la kumandirol futandi ol mari olma.
And then one fine morning and then I call Jame asked me to call Daba Marena, but before he called Daba Marena, assistant, a civilian assistant did call there.
Lunkilin somanda Jame konga Daba Marena kumandi bari janno fong bekela assistamba aya fanyam purunga kumandi.
Assistamba ye kumandiro.
Sorry, assistamba ye kumandiro kenje.
He's not telling the truth. Harry was constantly in touch with Jame.
Ako tumole ngwe nyimfenko amantara tonya fokang katu juma Harry.
Ngo. Na Harry mo la même fodje baraman to afo yamba commissioner Harry ni ya Jame be diam kanunne.
Ngotumole Harry anini ya Jame be diam kan. Okay, abetata moli amwe.
So and then Yaya Jame spoke to Daba and then he hung the telephone and then I could hear him shouting and he hung the telephone. He hung up the telephone.
Otumolem Yaya Jame nin Daba diamuta. Bari diamo nyinto a wurita kunale andumbiro botala drongaja e telefono nyin kuntu ayadeng.
So until in the evening around 5-6
bitunga tatawol nyale fokata wuraro kata tala lulu fotala woroma fangola.
The communication between them is very, very high.
Between
who and who?
Jumani Jumatemo.
Between Yaya Jame, Tumbul Tamba.
Utumo Yaya Jame nin Tumbul Tamba tema.
And Hari Sambu.
Anin Hari Sambu.
And then around 5-6 a.m. this morning.
Between Osomo tala lulu kata tala woro kang somanda juno.
Tumbul Tamba called the switchboard to tell Yaya Jame the mission accomplished.
Tumbul Tamba kumandiro ke switchboard oto. Kafo Yaya Jame yanko yembula do ko men nga kele ngambandile.
So I said to Tumbul, what mission is that?
Nko Tumbule mundo kule muoti.
I'm sorry, Council, I do not wish to swear, but I have to say direct as it is.
Please go ahead.
And then Yafo.
Tumbul said to me, just fucking tell him, mission accomplished.
Tumbul ya kumakao memfaya wale mnyintiko kaya fote nyame la kaya afai mko nga doko nyinkele nga bang ay kumaja wale fanfa ba fola tumomena.
So yeah, I told Jame and Jame asked me to tell Tumbul to come to the State House.
Birim fanango kumakao sindi Jamema. Jambe nyimfanya kunga fu Tumbul ya kong aine danku State House.
So when Tumbul came, I went down. He instructed me to make sure I open the gate. No one go. Let me go and open the gate for Tumbul.
Pirin Tumbul nata ye kango din telefon la purungata bunda yele aye. Utumole nte fanan jita ntata nga bunda yele Tumbul ye pra ye dunnang.
Tumbul came with a video recorder. That's something that record a video.
Tumbul birabe nala anim video recording ne nata. Bedun video aniwole nata nyola purkana State House.
Yes, so and he went inside, right inside the bedroom, inside Jammeh sitting room.
Utumoleng atata kadum bungo kono Jammeh sidulato.
He stayed for a while, and then next minute they called me to come down and help him with a bag of money. Big, not I'm not talking of plastic bag, a bigger bag of money.
Tung atasajele fo wati sutung ina atante kumande purunga jiduma ngata makoiroke kodi boto nyim kodi boto bade purunga makoiroke kawo kodi boto nyin chikandi.
Yes, while I was helping, I did have Ibu Jaju testifying here. He said he was there. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. The steward on duties was Lamin Makode Jammeh. He's in the UK here now. Ibu was never there.
Andu biringa moy Jaju be sediaro la jang akate bijele nu. Bari mbenyum fola ko atije nunde sayin mem bijele nu Ibu Makote Jaju wala bijele nu. Jammeh me wala bijele nu. Adun sayin wo fango abe America le amantara jang.
Abe Angleterre, okay. So when Tumbul was going down, he said to me, "Sehu nge kalol filile." I said to him, "Who?" He said to me, "You will hear it on the news."
Birin Tumbul beji kanduma. Ayina fanyen ko nge kalolu filile. Nkai juma konye ba mwele kibarol tole.
Can you tell us that in English?
Fanyen tubabu kango banka fanyen kalolu filile.
That simply means we have done with them or we have destroyed them.
Okay. So he continued saying, he said because he have to come, because if not, Jammeh was going to do like what he did to Sana Sabali, to lock them for some time and release them. But this time now, he makes sure Jammeh will set an example.
You know, for between Konun Latanun Yaming, Menketa Sana Sabali la, Wamukuleti, Beole Jabarisain, Jammeh be Kukela, Meyalonko, Welebekela, Santiamoti, Dolu Nyako, Dolu Nyanta Menjela.
So Tumbul is dead, but this is from his own mouth. He said that he has to convince Jammeh to make sure an example is set, because if not, what happened to Sana Tabal, just to lock him for some few years and release it was going to happen. And then, but this time around, he has to set an example.
Tumbulu fango adakalo memfonye abe lakiral barbitra memfonye wole nyinti ko Sana Sabali menuke ngawjele wotambita barisila Jammeh nyanta santiyango le kela. Let's
put it in plain terms.
Yes, sir.
Are you saying Tumbul told you that he convinced Jammeh to kill Daba Marena and his group?
Well, this is from Tumbul's word. He said you have to make sure Jammeh set an example. But I will come in detail.
Bari de Tumbulu fangola kuma kangolo nyinti de ako ate lafta jelale yaya Jammeh santiyango kenyi molu la ka kuitandi brunyin kamala molu saje.
Because after the death of Tumbul, I had a conversation with Jammeh, and Jammeh said to me, "You know, Tumbul, if I said to him, sir, Tumbul was sick and you never helped him when he was admitted at VIP block." He said to me, "Sehu, Tumbul made me make so many mistakes in life."
Tumbulu bring abanta fo kola ninja mebe kachala nko Jammeh Tumbulu sasa atajanne bari hanikata jube wala kwa kukela kuoto amanke Jammeh konyanko Sehu Tumbulu mumole time yalonko ay kujamal ke men yalonko aketa du nyoloti wodalilo le ya sabu
ando en filindi
kujamal le to men yalonko mbaratela.
He said to me, "You know, Daba was innocent."
Ay nyum fanye jele ko yalonko Daba mam femfenke.
He said to me, "You know why I went with Tumbul to Mauritania?"
Ay nyum fanye fana yalo ne dalili jumale yake nin Tumbul tata Mauritania.
He said to me, because Tumbul was in touch with, was part of this Ndur Cham coup d'etat.
Ako katu Tumbulu adabe nung Ndur Cham coup d'etat konole.
So, and then he said, and he knew Daba was going deep into it.
Ando alonko dababe dunkan ka dinka kolu kono men alonko wollebe keri notumo.
So the best thing he could do was to make sure Daba will never talk.
Ase menkeno wolem nyinti ko kaje ko dalba kana silo soto puruka murunang kadiam
and then Tumbul was not in good time with Malafikor as well.
Adun Tumbul ni Malafikor fana mantara diari nungu tumo.
And then Ali Cisse was Yajame's darling, because even when Ali was arrested, Yajame said, no, Ali will never be part of this.
Katu Aliou Cisse nataka moti ya jame fango lafita melna bake. Katu hani brie Aliou muta ya jame fango kole hani Aliou date tarno la nyinto.
He did ask for them to bring Aliou Cisse. He wanted to speak to Aliou Cisse face to face and ask him why did he plot against him.
Anata nyam fanam foko ye Aliou nati katu ate fango ning Aliou lafita diamle le nyani nya purasa nyinin ka mune ya sabu anu fate fana ya dadu nyinto.
But then it did happen to me, unfortunately. But he spoke to Ali before they picked Ali up.
Ha bari bitung amanna sotono puraning Aliou nyoje bara ning Aliou nata dia mulede janni ba sambala.
Yes, sir, because before then he did ask for them to take rams or ships or let me say just a ram for Aliou Cisse at the airport when he was at the airport.
Anata nyum fele fampuri sa kotongo samba Aliou Cisse wotumo wobe airport kulunti la jidulato.
So it is in between the news of Aliou Cisse involvement come in.
Betu wotumo lem nying kibaro lukafu Aliou Cisse dabije nata finti wokola.
So council, you can see the people being killed are people either in one way, it's either on the tribal line, I think that's the honesty, either on the tribal line or people that had difference with Tumbul.
Betu ibaje lako ye nyilumelu fateng si fatam fansole ya sabu wala amunta fanyale fote madorong me yalon kanata ke kuyati tema wala nyimbe sabu.
When the government issued a press release saying that Daba Marena, Ibulo, Alfaba, Aliou Cisse, and Manlafikor were being taken to Janjambure, and their vehicle somersaulted, and they escaped. Was the government telling the Gambian people the truth?
Subhanallah, may their soul rest in perfect peace.
Hani, alama ale nemanin kafarkeye.
When the killing happened, and Harisambu,
Birinyim faro luketa Harisambu,
Usman
Sonko, Tumbul Tamba.
I heard Harry saying General Lantombon Tamba was there, but I will say it here, Billahi.
Harisambu bedia mukamba, wotumo General Lantombon Tamba bije bari nsinkali ko.
No, ngamu yako General Lantombon Tamba mbelunjele, dabe lunjele, not a state house.
Ha akonu General Lantombon Tamba fanan dabe okuokonole.
Abenu State House.
Abenu State House.
Lantombon Tamba was never ever present at the scene.
Andu wayatara dum Lantombon Tamba anene mume wo mantara wo dinkirato.
Who was present at the scene?
In fact, that early morning, I had Jame asking Tumbul Tamba, is Lantombon aware? And then Tumbul said, no, he's not aware. He don't know it. And Jame said, good. This is what he has said. I was standing.
Somanda ngaya Jame moya akatumbul Tamba nyininka. Fodung Lantombon Tamba bijele bang fire kalamuta le bang tumbul kay hani utumole yaya fam fananko yo abeteata.
So who was present at the scene?
Silan jumale be mabere dingiranyi toje. Ha?
Harisambu.
And who else?
Ninjuma.
Usman Sonko.
Former Inspector General.
Aninjuma.
Tumbul Tamba, you said. And who else?
Sir. That was it. You see, I can fully recall. You see, when you come out of the office and going into the main building at the corridor there, that's where they came to discuss it.
Nkoyaje dame yalonko ni fintira bumba nyinkono ibita kan karadola ilawo jenjengola je peron koto ibenta wole to purkata nyinko diamu.
I came down to it was after office. I came down to took the baggages up, some of the luggages up. That's where they were talking about this.
Birimo be kala fante jitanane pour bagaso lumenu ya lon koy tutaduma pour kawlu cika ke samba ke selendi santo.
What agreement did they arrive at this meeting?
Now they were discussing, let them say the car somersaulted.
Say akan
They were discussing, the three of them, and they came to the town to say, let them announce the car had somersaulted when they were taking them to Janjambure.
Itumo ibediamo ke kantumo menna. Ida mangulu nata kambene ka foko ha moto membe isamba kan Janjambure wo moto nyim boytale fa ayele matakaloa kumula bitu tumolem nyimolu kanata.
They were hatching the big lie to feed the Gambian people.
Amunta be faniya nyin tara kan ba tabi ka Gambianol ka di findi ni Gambian rong moli.
Answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you are saying that Hari Sambu, Usman Sonko,
yes,
Tumbul Tamba, and Yaya Jame, they organized to lie to the Gambian people that this vehicle somersaulted and the five, Daba Marena and Co, disappeared.
Amunda ka men fo lam nyinti ko kabo Yaya Jame ni mol me be ay men fo teng. Sitale kumol kacha ya kambenta kula kana kuma kon fiti Gambia dingol ye ka fo ko nyimmo lulo la men fra kabo Daba Marena na lay molu be samba kan nun janjamburele e rodi nyita abusulta e kanata.
Could you answer now?
Yes, sir. I was there when they are saying it. In fact, because I was taking the luggages up.
Tonyala mbijele nun kato tembole mu mbebaga solu selendi kanke samba santo.
Who killed the following people?
Jumale nyimol fa nkana nyunu menu foteng.
Daba Marena, Ibulo, Alfaba, Aliou Cisse, and Man Lafikor.
So with due respect, that is something I wasn't in the books. Like Malik said, I've never moved out of even an inch from the State House. I don't know who pulled the trigger. I am just talking of what I see or what I heard.
Ala alonde fango kumotije nung amanke nyala andung men ya sabu malong katu menu fango ye kido ta ke bum malong jumanyo lem ning alate man siole fono.
But after these killings, you received the call from Tumbul Tamba. And he asked you to convey a message to Yaya Jame. What was the message?
Mission accomplished.
And you asked him what mission accomplished and how did he respond? Answer?
He said, just fucking tell him mission accomplished.
And afterwards, Yaya Jame requested that he come to State House.
And
correct?
Yes, sir.
And Tumbul came with a cassette of a video record.
Tumbul nata State House jeto anim cassette o me alon ko kuma kon lebe record rinje.
And the video recorder itself.
Anim video nying.
Yes, sir.
And he went into a room with Yaya Jame.
Ani Yaya Jame nata bungo do kono.
Correct?
Sir.
Kodi.
Yes,
and when they were done, Yaya Jame gave a big bag of money. Correct?
Yes,
correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was after that the meeting took place at State House. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Wherein they decided to tell the biggest lie to the Gambian people.
Well, that's what is being said there, yes, sir.
Yes,
Is it lost to you that Yaya Jame ordered the killing of these 5 people?
With due respect, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But from everything you have said, Yaya Jame paid the killer.
And
And then he gave him an excuse. by lying to the Gambian people as to what happened to the deceased person. That is the truth, isn't it?
Well, from what I said and from any genuine Gambian who can understand, this is exactly what happened.
Good. So it is fair and proper that we add onto the list for Yaya Jammeh that he killed Daba Marena, he killed Ibulo, he killed Alfaba, he killed Aliou Cissé, he killed Man Lafikor.
Muntabe tilin na puru moye ni modol fanan tolta ke lafa ni modol kamel yalon ko ay menu fa folo kenu wolen kabo Daba Marena, Alfaba, Ibulo,
Aliou Cissé, and Man Lafikor.
Ani Man Lafikor ke lafa tol kan ko take ko atele wol fanan fa.
You agree?
Isontale.
So, a point of rectification, that word will never come out of my mouth because he wasn't at the killing zone. All what I do know is I was with him in the building. So I will let
but Hitler never went about the streets of Germany shooting anybody, even though 6 million Jews were executed.
Hitler fa manta medo kan le ka mol fa men surtout ka ko molta million woro ifata jusol.
Just like you said a minute ago, with all the things you have said, it can only be understood that he killed them. Because they were killed at his behest.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not trying to defend him here, neither do I want to lie. He never gave me an order to say, tell them to kill them. All what I do know is I do receive a call to say mission accomplished. And I've seen Tumbul coming in there going with money. Yes.
Bitun ntete kumafola meya lonko ntel fania la mola adun nte kumasoto balo fanam fola.
Mr. Witness, let's
not meya lonko aketa nyami nga sata ngamel long wala keta wonya akobelata wala nyam.
Let us not prolong this.
Gana wato jamfani.
There's nothing to prolong here, sir. You obviously know. I'm not here to say
yes, but I want you to say it. I am not the one testifying. Mr. Witness,
you have to be fair to me here.
Yes, I am being fair to you. With everything you have told us. Okay, let me change the question. Yaya Jammeh got these 5 people killed.
Are you done, sir?
Could you say?
I said, can I come in, sir?
Yes, that is the truth, isn't it? He got these people killed, and then he tried to cover it up.
The Gambian people have the right to say, to come up with a conclusion. Well, I'm not going to say, yes, he did the whole what I said. I do receive a call telling me mission accomplished. And I said, I think I've been very straightforward here. And I did see Tumbul coming into the State House, and then he did collect money. So, sir, with due respect, sir, you can make a decision.
And soon after that, they fed the Gambian people what you know to have been a lie.
Well, whether it is a lie or whether it's not a lie, this is what they said at the State House. Exactly where I was standing, this is what they said. So
okay.
You could have allowed me to continue a bit.
You have sworn on the Quran.
That's why I have to repeat exactly what I heard, what I see, not to say, yes, he said this, he said that. As long as I don't receive a call from him telling me, tell these people to execute these people, that's not going to come out of my mouth. What I do say and what I do know is I did receive a call from Tumbul. Yes. And this is exactly what he told me. So I am giving you the opportunity and the Gambian people to come to conclusion. But you don't want to tell me to speak on behalf of the Gambian and say, yes, he did this.
We agree. We just want to know what you believe.
I think I have to believe what all Gambians believe, what all Gambians believe.
So just tell us, what is your belief?
My belief is that they've been killed.
By who?
Well, by the junglers.
Under whose instructions? Who directed that mission? Who ordered that mission?
If Tumbul have the gut to come and receive money, I did not need to tell you under whose instructions, sir.
So we can conclude it is Yaya Jammeh's instructions. No, Mr. Jallow. Stop dodging the question.
We got to be honest. Because I swear on the Holy Quran I gave you the opportunity for you and the people to come to a conclusion. That will come out of my word, from my mouth.
Is this notion wahbu ega yefi dofla?
Pardon?
Are you trying to reinforce the notion that wahbu ega yefi dofla? You don't want to cut the teeth or connect the dots?
I'm giving the panel and the Gambian population to come to that conclusion, sir.
Mr. Jallow, you know very well, deep in your heart, that Yaya Jammeh ordered the execution of these 5 people.
Yaya Jammeh yin lonne sonno mo kono ko Yaya Jammeh le yamaro di pour ñu molu lol yefa.
I am speaking for those who have the knowledge to understand, and then I'm speaking. I think I'm speaking to a very professional lawyer. You are good in your job. That's why, with due respect, sir, that's why I said that. I received a call from Tumbul. I said, mission accomplished, and I opened the gate for Tumbul to come in. And I said, Tumbul received money. You said me to say that Yaya Jammeh give the orders for them to be killed. I said, I didn't hear that from Tumbul. Sorry, from Yaya Jammeh, because I hold the Quran. I have to say what I hear and what I see and what I witness. The rest is just for the panel to come to conclusion.
But Mr. Jallow, you later sat with Yaya Jammeh. And he told you that with regards to...
misled him.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And did he express regret about what has happened?
Yes, especially with Marina, yes.
Exactly. So obviously Jammeh expressed regret because he did what he now believes was wrong.
Correct?
I'll give the panel the opportunity to come up to that conclusion.
Well, put it this way.
Yes, sir.
You would never say that Yaya Jammeh did it. Because you are ashamed.
Probably you don't know me. Go and ask anybody who knows SAIKOU Jallow. I do not shy away from the truth. I was one person, people tell me, if you're not careful, Jammeh will kill you. I said, he let him kill me, telling the truth and telling lies.
But you are avoiding. You are avoiding. You are avoiding calling the kettle black.
I give you the opportunity to call it black. So you expect me to say on behalf of Gambians, the kettle was black. While those who want to understand what I said, that wouldn't come out of my mouth. So
well, make me understand in plain terms what you are saying. Just a moment. Aren't you saying that it is quite obvious that Yaya Jammeh secured their killing?
I didn't pull the trigger. I don't know who and who pulled the trigger. What I do know was, I did receive a call from Tumbultamba saying mission accomplished. Obviously, if you send me something and then someone come and said, oh, the guy you said mission accomplished, I will allow the Gambian people and the panel to come to that conclusion, but not from my mouth, sir.
Bari Tumbultamba le lota ko yetel kimen aketale andu ye bandile. Bitun silam babula la Gambian ko lubulu itel family ye mira ya jube faye hakilo kono ko nyin keta nyamin.
We would put it under Yaya Jammeh's docket as number 10 person, as 10 people already killed by Yaya Jammeh. You agree?
That agreement wouldn't come from my mouth because when he was giving the orders for them to be killed, I wasn't there. All what I said, I did that mission accomplished.
Okay.
Kuma kama to bolante dade wairin teti jebe fala tumo men bari men fonte wolem nganna do ko kele yenki menna.
Okay, let's put it this way. These are 10 missions ordered by Yaya Jammeh and 10 of them accomplished.
Anu ñun be mu do kulel men yan ko Yaya Jammeh ya maro di pour yeke andu ye beti mandile.
Agreed?
Isonda.
I wouldn't say 10 missions ordered by Jammeh. Apart from the one that he basically tell me about CC, the rest are all he has said. So I'm not there to say they were ordered by Jammeh. Yes, sir.
bitumbe men fono la wala nyinti nga menu follow fo men ya lonko kana bala si yolu fale
Sehu, you know what you're doing? You are huffing and puffing at the same time. You're speaking from two sides of the mouth.
Huffing and puffing in my diary, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I don't have that in my diary. No. As time goes on, you will come to the truth. We all know the truth. What I want to say here, I do not want words to be put into my mouth. I have to be very fair to the Gambian people and say what I know, what I don't know.
Would you say that Harry Sambu is guilty of covering up murder?
I wouldn't say he was guilty or innocent. I'm saying.
No, I am saying. Listen to the question.
Yes, sir.
Are you saying that Harry Sambu is guilty of covering up murder?
Harry Sambu, Tumbul Tamba, Yaya Jame, Usman Sonko are all under the same basket.
Harry Sambu, Tumbul Tamba, Yaya Jame,
which is guilty of covering up murder, to say the least.
Well, they know they know what at the time they know what Gambians don't know. So you see, if we go further, you will get to know what I'm trying to say. But it's like you want us to stay here for hours debating on this, and then I'm not going to say things that I have no idea about. I think what I said here is very crystal clear.
No. It is more like I don't want to say the obvious. And
the
not
obvious is already there. I'm a council. If you send people, and then somebody among them, someone came and said, mission accomplished. And then I said, what mission? He said to me, just fucking say mission accomplished. Next means the person who called came in and received money. And then we came with a video recorder, maybe to show evidence this had happened. Obviously, at the panel, I'm not here to say this. You know, every Gambian know what happened there.
Okay, well, we know that Yaya Jammeh ordered their execution and they were executed and he paid money for that. That's what we know from what you have said.
That's all what you can say, but you want me that word to come out of my mouth? No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Is that a reasonable conclusion?
No, you're asking me to say what I see and what I know. I'm trying to tell you what I see, what I know.
I ask you, is our conclusion a reasonable conclusion?
Well, that's left to the panel to judge. But obviously, you know, Tumbul will not come to that house with a video recorder without being given orders. But I'm not here to say.
And where would those orders come from?
The last person he spoke to that, well, he came to give situation report. So he came to the president. So whatever happened in between them, if he was alive, or Jammeh come, he should tell us what happened. But he said, yeah, yes, this, that.
Okay, let's recap what you said. Jammeh and Daba had serious arguments over the telephone, correct?
I wouldn't say serious argument because I didn't hear the conversation. All what I do know is because when you pass a call, you can see the red light blinking. Because then you have to monitor whether he finished talking or whatever before you pass another call. But the conversation didn't stay long. But I can hear him shouting and banging the phone, yes.
Okay. So which signifies that Jammeh was angry. He was not happy. And Tumbul Tamba was telling him, sorry, and at the time, Tumbul Tamba carried out a mission and came and told you and called and to tell you that to tell Jammeh that mission was accomplished.
And wato Tumbul Tamba tara do ko la kumandiro ke ko priya fa ya Jammeh ko do ko nyinga timmandile.
Correct?
Kodi.
Let's put it this way. He didn't call me because when you say he called me, mean private, probably he called my line. He called the switchboard.
I understand.
Where all comms called to and Pastor Jammeh. And I was the only.
We understand.
I wasn't only there, but I picked the phone and he said to me, tell Jammeh, mission accomplished. And I said,
perfect.
He said, fucking tell him mission accomplished.
Exactly. So he was reporting to his superior, isn't it?
Yes,
and obviously, from that conversation, it appeared that the superior knew what this mission was. Correct?
Yes, of course, yes. Yes.
And then Tumbul Tamba had to come to State House to produce evidence of the mission accomplished by way of video
Tumbul Tamba na fasi na State House jero mansala korda bato ay na kubo ndime an kolbe gele sede around member ay tandila ko tonya tara do ko men aya timmandila wala video nyindi.
Yes, he did came with a video. Yes, he did came with a video.
Okay.
Yes.
And he went into a room with Jame and they had a conversation. They have their own meeting, the two of them. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And immediately after that, Yaya Jame gave a big bag of money. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And after that, there was a meeting between Tumbul, Yaya Jame, Usman Sonko, and Hari Sambu, correct?
Kola Yaya Jame Tumbul, Hari Sambu, aning Usman Sonko inatna bengo soro kodi.
And in the meantime, you had asked Tumbul, what is this mission accomplished? He said you would hear it in the fucking news.
And bengo bengo nyim botala inatna Tumbul nyininga, umuni nyim bengo nyinga adalilo muneta koe ba mwela kibaro dole.
Correct?
Kodi.
At that point, that fucking news, he didn't hear. He said he would hear it in the news.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Don't get me. He did say,
yes. But he also told you that your people have been disappeared.
Yes.
And you also saw them discussing to say to the Gambian people that the vehicle somersaulted and these people disappeared.
Yes.
All put together clearly say that Yaya Jame saw to it that these 5 people were killed and they went to give a lie to the Gambian people.
Nyin kuma kan be ni eta ye kafunyo ma we me tan wala nyindi ko ya jama boro ko nyin kalama la inar na kuma ko muta ya bondi Gambia dingole kafu mole ko nyum mole kanata le be samba kam makati wato men waya ta mu kuma soro baloleti.
Obviously, yes.
Kata wala nyama.
Thank you very much.
Mubarak.
No. That's not so. You want to come out of me and say, yeah,
all right. Let us move on.
Let me just bring in the 2-3 short-term questions. Mr. Jallow, did Jame tell you where Tumbul Tamba told him the 5 Gambians were executed? The place and what happened to their bodies, where the bodies are? Jame didn't tell you anything about that?
Nothing, absolutely, sir.
And Tumbul didn't tell you what he told the president also on that, those 2 points?
No, because it was a conversation between them, never.
And did Tumbul tell you also, Jame tell you the video clip or the video that Tumbul gave him, what was on that video? Was it the execution, was it the burial, or what was in that video? Do you know?
Sir, I don't know because I have a limitation and I just need to know basic, please, sir.
Thank you. Council, continue.
Thank you very much. But even as Dava Marena and others were killed, and a lie was fed to the Gambian people, investigations were going on as to who was involved in the Nur Cham coup d'etat. And many people were arrested, taken to the NIA and brutalized. Correct?
Can we finish what they were talking at that point first, please?
Okay, let's go. Let's go back to that. Please go ahead.
So when this discussion was made, Khalifa Bajinka, the late name came up. I have heard what Harisambu was saying. He was this, Jammeh was laughing. Harisambu was more in a joyous position than even all those people. I have to be honest. I don't want to be disrespectful to him, sir, but he probably didn't see me when they were talking. I was standing.
Fonga tilinga to nyafa bele kong fe Harisambu akatate sewo le dia munta nga sewo maleje birinyin dia molbe keka ngo temboto. Because
he suggests, in fact, when Lantombo Amasol Astaghfirullah, when Bajinka name came up, he suggested for them to send military police to go and arrest Bajinka in Nigeria.
Hatu biringo dia molu kono birim Bajinka tofota. Ate fanga nyine fam foko isi military police wale msoja lolu fana kono police olu isi olu ki Nigeria puri eta Bajinka mutaje.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. After, on that day or the next day, was there a meeting at State House where Tumbul Tamba, Usman Sonko, Harisambu, and Langtombong Tamba came together to meet Yaya Jammeh? This is what happened. I was not an office orderly. I was in the house.
Menketa wala mnyindi ko amanka ko office orderly odamandi bari mbe bungo kono nungo tumo.
So if that happened, I didn't see any meeting of church. That meeting I'm talking about happened at the corridor. This is where these people came, but Lantombo was never there.
Nyim kumo memba fo kante nyile nyim bengo ke bantalale bungo jenjengo la bitung bari utumo Lantombon Tamba nene mantara jenu atije.
Let me tell you two testimonies we have received before this commission.
Badunga sedandi fula molla me anko ye sedandro di commission nyati ngola janga mensoro.
One testimony is
sedandri kilimbeje
that the meeting involving the four people, Langtombong, Harisambu, Usman Sonko, Tumbul Tamba, meeting Yaya Jammeh, never took place. Is that correct?
Right. I am speaking what I have seen, and then I am not telling you, don't believe what they say or don't believe.
Did you see that meeting?
I am telling you, believe what I'm going to say, and I said, Billahi, Wallahi, believe what I said here. Okay. I'm going to tell you here.
Okay.
I didn't see a meeting at this office because I was in the building inside the house. But I did saw a meeting between Tumbul Tamba, Usman Sonko, Yahya Jammeh, Harisambu.
Okay. All right.
Lantombo was in there, and I said it before.
Okay.
Even in the morning when Tumbul was leaving Yahya Jammeh's house, he did ask him, is Lantombo aware? And then Tumbul said to him, no, he wasn't aware. He's not aware. Because, let me make this point clear. Lantombo, at some point, they've seen it as someone, I do not want to be tribal here, but they've seen him as somebody who is like, it's a reconciliation, but they're seeing someone as like, he doesn't care which tribe you belong to, like everyone is the same. So most of some of the things that were happening, they have to make sure they push him aside.
And bring who?
This Tumbul Tamba was the center. I said because he had a friction with Jammeh. This time around, he wanted to make sure Jammeh, he wins Jammeh's confidence. He was at the center of everything. Because even at some point, Musa Jammeh was even pushed aside.
Okay, all right. Just a moment. Would you say that Harisambu lied when he suggested?
With due respect, don't even need to complete the statement. He was lying. He lied.
Langtombong said he never went to State House to meet Jammeh with these people.
Yes, I'm telling you the people that I saw. I didn't see Lantombo anywhere near there, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's move on. We have a lot of other issues to cover. This one is very important. We know the killings. We have the circumstantial evidence, the indicia of responsibility. from what you have said, we can draw our conclusions. Yaya Jammeh got them killed. So now let's move on to the tortures that happened at the NIA.
So, first of all here, I didn't finish Bajinka. Well, let me come with Bajinka, because I had Hadisambu talking. I have to be very honest to everybody here.
Okay, go ahead. But it's not
because
critical,
because yes, I'll summarize it. When Hari gave the idea for Bajinka to be arrested, and then at that point, Jammeh asked me to go upstairs. But inside the building is so big, there's somewhere we call Moroccan Hall. I went down and came through the Moroccan Hall to the state banquet and hide behind one of the doors. I can hear them talking.
And what did they say?
That was the time Jammeh said it's against the international protocol to get Bajinka arrested from Nigeria, because the Nigerian government wouldn't allow it.
Bari o tumolem bribe o diamo kekan ngani moy Jammeh ko banku nim banku te ma loi balantale puru yeta Bajinka muta Nigeria man sakunda fangate sonna wala.
So when I heard that, I ran upstairs and I told, in fact, Yusuf, I said, these people, I heard them talking, it's like they've killed some people, but hopefully at the late news will hear it.
Could you repeat what you said? Could you repeat that?
When I heard them talking, I ran back to Yusuf Asane, he was an oddly as well.
Yes.
I said to him, Yus, I had a conversation downstairs, but the way these people are talking, it's like they've killed some people.
Berimna moy nimborole tata santo ndata Yusufa Sane yanka ha ngani molu moy diamulalde andu amulunta ko ye modol le fa barbitum bina kibarol moy lale tala woro kibarol.
And who are these people?
Wallam jumalti nyimolti
who you believe they have killed?
That is because then at that time we don't know who and who. I just said maybe we will know it in the evening.
And
did they announce names later?
Of course, yes. These are the 5 people you name now.
So right there and then, your belief was that they have killed these 5 people, and you rushed to Ismaila Jammeh, Yusufa Jammeh, and you told him. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Between that time and now, what has changed? Between that day and today, what has changed?
Well, it came out plain that those people have been killed.
By who?
By the junglers. And then Yaya Jammeh knew about it. And then Yaya Jammeh knew about it. Hadisambu knew about it. Usman Sonko knew about it. Tumbul Tamba knew about it.
Abutun jongla so le fade. Bari Hadisambu ya long, Yaya Jammeh ya long, Tumbul Tamba ya long, Usman Sonko ya long.
And a report was sent to Yaya Jammeh that the mission was accomplished.
Yes.
And as a result, you believe that Yaya Jammeh, Harisambu, Usman Sonko, and Tumbul Tamba killed some people, and that's why you told Yusufa Jammeh.
Harisambu, Tumbul Tamba.
I believe these people have been killed. I didn't say Harisambu killed.
No. You said these people.
But counsel,
just hear me out.
Stay here. We stay the whole day sticking. This is something we've passed. We all have to believe they've been killed, and then I gave you the opportunity to say yes, that is my belief. Somebody can see it in a different way. They've been killed, and they've been killed. They were wrongly killed. They shouldn't be. Because
look, we would leave it at that, and people would listen to the record, and then they would draw their conclusion. So let us move on.
Yes.
Now let's.
So I called.
Yes, go ahead.
So I went up and tried to call Bajinka to tell him not to come to the country because I had this. But Bajinka was adamant that he's going to come. So he came. And the NIS were sent to arrest him. For some reason, he told them to go back. They are not the ones supposed to arrest him. They are soldiers. But then, you know, he was just a lucky guy and lucky to be alive. So I was coming from the laundry. I took Jammeh's clothes. I was coming from the laundry. I saw Mustafa Sane. He was saying he had the opportunity to revenge because it was Bajinka who demoted him. Yes, he was demoted, I'm sorry, interpreters. I have to go quicker because we want to finish this part.
Bitun kona ta kenyaming wolem nyintiko bajinka atemumole timeya lonko mantale bentaye katu ntefango nga katale ka kumandi Nigeria ka fay pura akana na banko kan bari ay kanja tamandije ako abinalale ado ama bay anatale yo bari bitun na tamolu fanglu bulindile men ya lonko iko yeta ya muta yo bitun fango kan nata Mustafa Sane je me ya lonko akabala julo jolale katu bajinkale moti me ya tela palaso jindi.
Yes, because Mustafa Sane insubordinated second lieutenant Bulli Tamba at the time. So he was charged and demoted, but then now he had the opportunity to say yes, he's going to revenge on Bajinka.
Lieutenant Bulli Sane, Lieutenant Olema
Bulli Tamba.
Bulli Tamba. Yo wotembo atengani yo beole barbitum anataka nyale mameya lonko itelu ngani yo momenti bajinka dal alale nata mantabe ngai mala ko la banta nyame
okay no ngame ko danko Bulli Tamba ay jutnere kelum sorry astaghfirullah Mustafa Sane jutnere kelum Bulli Tamba la inatala grade kilo o bondi from corporal to lance corporal so wotu bajinka len commandati so itoli adel say ate Mustafa Sane ajere ko say ay juro so pour que jono bajinka la grado tinya
okay
so when that happened now some people were sent for Bajinka and then I heard them talking. I just ran up and then I took the phone because I could not call him with my number this time around, but our German's telephone were all private numbers. So I put the muffler on the speaker of the phone and I said to him, listen, whatever you are doing, leave the country ASAP as soon as possible. A group of coming, if they meet you there, you are gone. So he wanted to know who it is. I said, I'm not there to tell you who I am, just leave now.
Between Telaje, Commander Lang Fason Jamal Lebije, Barbirin, Natana Borin Tata Dulato, Nabajinka Commandi, Nafende Mura Telefono in Dala, Puru Kanan Council Tenka and Ko. Ibe tembe woto ibe dawo da fereke banko bula sain niwonte itabanta ari nyininkaro ka ko jumalo nyinti barbitum ndeman naw fay
so and that's how he left the country.
That's how he left the country.
Thank
you very much. That is very important. So now let's come to the investigations that took place that March 2006.
March 2006.
At the NIA headquarters. There was a lot of torture of those who were arrested. They were beaten mercilessly. Correct?
Well, that is a hearsay because I've never ever attended that panel. I've never been there, sir.
But
you had Tumbul and Musa Jame agreeing that instead of beating people where they were being arrested, they would be brought to the NIA and beaten there.
Baika moile NIA tumbul ni Musa Jame ka kambe nyina pour mola ike muta da menja ikana ilibaje bari sinati NIA tajire yao to kodi.
No, there was no agreement. Musa Jame told me that he had that he advised Tumbul, let them stop beating people in town. Anyone they arrested, start beating you from town. Before he said, if they have to beat anyone, let them take them to NIA and investigate. If he or she is guilty, then if they want to torture, they can torture, but they should not beat people outside because it's not going to say the good name to the president.
Bari natani yamaro di koy kanam molu bute sate o kono Musa Jammela kan ni be mo mondi mbute la ye muta ye samba NIA ning itatara ko tonya nyi mari silo bulale ni be bute rokela je isi bute NIA bari ya bula pour ka molu bute sate o kono kadu wote president to diala.
I know you have told us that you are not present at the NIA. Did you hear reports to Jame that these people were being beaten at the NIA? All right. So we leave 2006.
2006
All right. So now let's take a step backwards. In 2005,
57
between 67 and 57 West African migrants came to the shores of this country.
Africa tilijindala banku dingo mol men bira fo talul nim fen wara fo talul nim fen inata banko kanjang.
And they were arrested.
Ye muta.
By the police.
Police ole muta.
And they were taken over custody by Bombardier and members of the state guard.
Andu menu ye nata ye ta police wol bulo kono katara ye la maroto wolle Bombardier ani molla men yalon ko be do ko la mansara korda baro.
Tell us what happened as far as you know.
Afanyam bamben keta o Africa tilijindala banku dingo molla ko do itala londo de mel lonje.
You see, I was even surprised to see so many people like of Lamintin and others talking. To be honest, I didn't hear anything about this until years after. Then I was having a conversation with Jame. Sometimes this come up.
Be careful,
you are overlapping with the interpreters. You have to give them time to interpret. Could you say that again, please?
I said, this is something I was never privy to when it happened, to be honest. I think, in fact, we did hear a small room because I work in an office. Sometimes something will happen in the state house for 1 or 2 months. I wouldn't even know. I was always with Jabba upstairs. Yeah, so it's only those who are supposed to know will know. So after all, I think 3 years after this incident, one day we were talking.
Between anata Kenyaming, Kuolu Nibe Kela, Menyanta Mel Lona, Ikawole long, Memanyana Mel Lona, Wokabu Olong. So in Kuolu La Carola, anata hand fight, list I Sanji Savasi, Utumo Ninja Mebekachaka Lunkili.
Yes, so you were watching television. Which news?
This lady came up, Emma Hart.
Which news outlet? Sky News, you said?
Sky News.
Okay.
Yes.
Proceed, please.
Emma Hart.
Emma Hart, yes.
So, and then I see he changed his face. It's like, he said, I don't like this lady. I said, Dad, why? He said, oh, you know, this lady is always talking, you know, he never talk good about Africa, or especially when it comes to African leaders.
Yo mbato nabe telejibe o langaje bring Emma Hart afindita television to drone aya nyakuya akonyi muso nying ate abuka kukende fo mo finduma akatu kumakolengo le drone fola mo findula koluto wala nante ala kibarulu abuka nsewo.
What else?
So that came in, you know, we start talking. I can't remember all, and then until we reach with these Ghanaian issues.
Bitutumole ngadiamo damutang hakilota be mutanola de barin kachata wole nyama hanifon na diamo atatafuta nyingana nkola kuoma.
And then, you know, sometimes Jame, he's trying to warn me indirectly, but he's not telling me directly, like, always let me be very, very honest to him.
Alun Jame tuwatio atinimbe kachala tumodo la karindandalale kumakango kono kafonye wati inyantale ye hakilotu.
So while we were talking, he said to me, you know, this kind of incident, and I said, yes, sir. He said, this is giving him a big, big headache.
Bitu diamo konolom hanfu atafona atafoyaje nyingana nkola nyinkuo nyimbe kundi mibale dikana munda wale mnyinta ketai kola ya bale ti otembo.
Then these UN inspectors were in the country at the time.
Birinyi UN la nying kisikisirilal nata bankoka ngotumo.
So he said to me, you see, sometimes when I get very mad with some of these people, they start coming and begging me.
Akonye seho yaje tumodolu nintata hanufo kamfata modolu kama dolu siwulina ibina ibendani la.
He said because before this Ghanaian, there was a first batch of foreigners that came into the country.
Akotumola ko janinyi ngana nkola kobe fola kafudole folo sotonta melu nata bankoka.
Who were known to be migrants.
Meya lonko ya nyilonko uda ilal lemuiti.
He said they were intercepted and then they were searched. He said, but could you imagine this security? So you don't tell me who and who. He said, took all those people's money and then they briefed him. He did give Interpol the directive for them to be deported back to their various countries.
Akonye bitunko ya jele kolu na takenyaming bari nyi security olu ka komen dolu ke tumodolu biri nyi kafu follow menu nata na mbanko kang ye be mutale biri ye muta ye nyi molu la kololu be busila bitumbriye la kodolu taibulu wotumolo ina ta feroke ye nyimmolu be mutaye fintindi banko kan.
No. They advised, they informed me.
Ya wotumole ya ta kalamutandi kumo nyimfaye.
And then he asked Interpol to deport them to their various countries.
Interpol dunia be police ka fo nyim police nyimmolu murundi e sambela banko lu kan.
Proceed, please.
Exactly.
Proceed.
So he said with this other badge,
a
lot of money was taken from them. And they went come back to him and lied to him. I'm telling him these people are mercenaries who came to took over his country, took over the country. And he said, I'm not trying to, I just want to be honest here. He said, based on what they gave him as advices or whatever proofs they have from those people saying they said this, they said that.
And I remember no ko ateye kuma kango men soto nyi molu bulu ye menu na ye kuma kango lu menu sindi atema nyi molu la koto.
So it's like because Musa Jame and Tumbul was in between coming and reporting and other people reporting to him. I don't know who, we just mentioned few names.
Amunta memfo dum ko nyum mo fulo Musa Jame nin Tumbulu ani mo kotengolu wolle bina kam pour kana ko molu faya wo mo kotengolu mawlo mbara nyum mo fulo lu tofale.
He said, say they lied to me and then they made me give the orders these people to be killed.
Ako sehu ya jale nyil natale ye fanya fonye kuma soto balo yole drom fonye adunga natala ba nyaadi mune keta wole nata sabu hanu fonyi molu yefa okay ngakango di hanu fo police nyi molu fa.
Mr. Jallow.
Yes sir.
Yaya Jammeh told you.
Yaya Jammeh yin foye.
Yes sir.
He ordered the killing of these Ghanaians.
Tele kango di puruka nyu
This West African man.
Africa te jindala banku dingo molu yefa.
Let them teach them a lesson so that they will know anybody that they send, he is ready for them.
But follow la ila kumo follow la mamwede.
He ordered these people to be killed.
Kango di puru nyilu fa bari ilavan dam folateng.
By mistake, sir.
Pardon?
If I had said that it's by mistake, sir.
Ako mufilo leti.
Sehu, this is no mistake. He was misled into believing that these people were mercenaries. That's what he told you.
Yeah, feeling the I remember when you feeling the ko nyumolu mole me alon ko mercenaries so dem.
Remember the first badge,
yes.
He asked them to be returned back home.
Okay.
Ako kafu follow nyinda ka nyine di pour yewlu sayndi la banko lu kam pour interpol yewlu say.
After eating these people's money, there was all the deals failed.
Ako bitum wala nyindolu biriyo la kololu ta biriye kololu ta ko muneketa.
They branded them as mercenaries.
Biriyo la kololu talem ina tafa ko lu mercenary wolleti molu men ka kelo ke kodoye.
And then and then he told them, because from the information he's getting from whether it's true or not, he asked them to make sure they deal with them.
Bitu anata kaudi utumola kaje ko ye feroke.
Sehu, you are changing your position.
He knew about it. Yes, of course. On his orders.
He ordered. You have said it twice.
Yes.
He ordered them to be killed.
Yes. He said, let them deal with them. And Musa Jame came and said, let them finish them up.
Yo adum nata Musa Jame nata kwa foko nyanta molu finish la ke turobang wala ke laba.
You have held the Quran. Just hear the question. Just hear the question. Just hear the question.
Yes.
You have sworn an oath on the Quran. You have kissed the Quran several times and sworn to speak the truth. Just hear me out.
Let them deal with them. So the orders came from him. Deal with them. They kill them from his orders.
Okay, and I'll ask you the question again. Yaya Jammeh ordered the execution of these West African migrants.
Yaya Jammeh kango di puru nying Africa trijindala banku dingo mol yefa.
Could you answer now?
That is a hearsay from him, yes.
So he told you that?
Atale wo fo e kodi.
Well, I do know that he said let them be dealt with, yes.
He told you that?
Ngalon ne ko atele ko ye mañi molula.
Let them set an example.
Puru ye santiyango yitandi.
And these people were executed on the basis of his orders.
No, I
am asking if... Okay, but you know that these people were killed.
Like I said, until when this testimony started at the TRC, I was surprised to see some of the names we named here as part of those who were part of it, to be honest, because it's need to know basic. I have no idea who and who was there.
Okay. Yes, I take it you don't know who and who was there.
Yes, what I do know is what he told me, that he was being lied to saying these people were mercenaries. Yes, sir. And
on the basis of that, he ordered that they be dealt with, they be killed.
I'll let them set an example.
And did Yaya Jammeh know that they were killed?
How can 45 people also be killed without him knowing if he have already given orders for them to be dealt with? So obviously the word dealt with, what does it mean? It depends on between him and those who did the execution. The UN inspectors were in the country.
But isn't it the case that Yaya Jammeh just hated Emma Hart because he was busy saying that these Ghanaians were killed in the Gambia? Isn't that the case?
Pardon?
Isn't it the case that Yaya Jammeh hated Emma Hart because she was busy campaigning or raising awareness that West African migrants were killed in the Gambia?
Yaya Jammeh fudu dalilo me yaken diko ay Emma Hart kong wolem nyinti wobenyi lankene marola kaitan diko ye nyin Ghanaiano lu fa Gambia banko le kang wolem dalilo time yakendi Yaya Jammeh malafe nyi musundi mo.
So as at the time you were having this conversation with Yaya Jammeh, it was already public knowledge that about 57 West African migrants were killed in Gambia.
Bitu watu meteni Yaya Jammeh be okachala. Nyinketa kulo ndingoleti nyimbanko kanko. Membitala mo talulu ni woro nyongo. Men keta nyimmo findu triji banko dingoluti. Ye ulubefa nyi Gambia banko le kang wolon tale wotumo.
Sir, I was never in the picture of all those things. You'll be surprised because, like I said, as an oddly, some of these things happened you didn't even know. But then, the UN inspectors were here and he wasn't comfortable with it. But with the revelation from the TRC, made me know so many things that I thought I knew him very well. On the whole, I don't.
Ninkwolu kujamale katamanu utumo meni alonko. Akawati tale fangja nintebe bula kalama bari birinti RRC be ke kan jam mol kana jay ka diamu utumo le fangmu ndena tabu ku jama kalama ngamira num fango ko ngani mari lonne bari yara utumo mabal lonna.
Well, we have had the junglers.
Na jongla solu moy janne.
They testified that they carried out the order to execute these 56 West African migrants.
Nying jongla solu ya fule ko bitu itelie kangole tamandi puru nying mo findula nyintiliji banku udai lalu mo talulu ni woro ya tamandi kangole kampur kawulu befa.
And just a moment, some of the victims who escaped the execution described somebody who everybody knew was bombarded as being involved in the arrest and execution of these Ghanaians, of these West African migrants.
Mo soton molu meni alonko ikanata nye mo findula nyintiliji banku dingulu kono wolunata menna kumo foko yo mari leje me ya lonko ye bulo la nyin Ghanaian lukang wonata ke moleti ka fo me ye bombarder andum bitum wala nata ke moti me ya lonko yate sute ya foko fanan adabe molo kono meni ye bulo la nyin Ghanaian lukang.
And even the guards who were there testified saying that it was Bombardier and others who came to pick up the Ghanaians, the West African migrants.
Hani kantar la lumenu bije. Ulfana lenyi sede yaro le keko. Bombardier ni dole nata. Many along ko lenyi ganan ko lube ka funyoma ye muta ini tata ye samba.
And at this time, where was Bombardier walking?
Fokabula otambola Bombardier abedo kola no mindole.
State House.
State House.
Where was Tumbul Tamba walking?
Tumbul Tamba tabenu do kola mindole.
Could you answer now?
State House.
State House.
And according to Malik Jata and others, it was Tumbul Tamba who gave them the orders.
Ko Malik Jata ya fanyame. Ko Malik Jata ya fanyame Tumbul Tamba ole yamaro di la pour kanyi molta ke samba. Katefa.
And after all this, you heard all this. And then you recalled your conversation with Jammeh. Him expressing regret that Tumbul Tamba misled him by telling him that these people were mercenaries.
And wait, sir. I never said he said Tumbul Tamba misled me. He said he was being misled by security apparatus, but he never tell me who and who.
Nanyum foko security le ba filin di kambari man Tumbul tof.
Okay, all right, better still. And he regretted the decision he made. But in fact, what he regretted is the consequence of the decision, which is that these victims have died. These migrants have died. They were murdered.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Do you want me to come up, sir?
Well, I want you to confirm that.
Yes, because when you said this, because when you said I had all this revelation of the TRC. In fact, I did try to reach out to Bomba, and I said, Bomba, you of all people, what put you into this? But he didn't want. He said, listen, let them say what they want to say, but that's not the truth. Whenever I come, I'll tell them the truth. And I said to him, you know what? I'm ready to send you whatever you need to go and shed the light. I said, because I'm very disappointed to hear your name involved in the killing of 40-something people. So obviously, I cannot say much about whether what Malik said was true or not, because I was not privy to anything that happened there. I only knew after a few years.
The important thing here is the confession that Yaya Jammeh made to you.
Yes, so many things. In fact, after that, you can see, I told you he dissolved the junglers because he realized so many missions are being carried based on lies.
Okay. But even at that, his hatred for Emma Hart was so deep that he wanted Emma Hart dead together with other people. In fact,
well,
he came up with a list of people he wanted dead.
Ritual fight.
Tell us about the story.
Yes, because he feels most of the people, those people that you have in your list, were his enemies, and these are people who want to see him down. They don't want to see him in power. So we have to make sure he do everything possible to protect himself against them. Yes.
By seeing them dead, spiritually.
Well, not some of them not dead, because in fact he made relationship with some of them, but to make sure not like Mandika Kahoka the Kedacity.
Sehu. We had a conversation before.
Yes.
And what you told me is that Yaya Jammeh wanted these people dead, and he was going to fight them spiritually.
You are talking over
the interpreter. Allow the interpreter to. What I'm saying is, you gave me a list.
Yes.
And you said Yaya Jammeh wanted all these people on this list dead.
Not all of them dead.
He wanted them dead spiritually. That's what you told me.
No, Not all of them. He said some of them, he don't want them to talk about him again. Let's the UN inspectors. He wanted to make sure this thing will never come out.
Amanke beti de baribitung foko dolu be kono alaftale purukaje ko wulu ikanala kumofo kota ke imanyana kadia muhanifo ikasi ikatela kumofo.
How did you get the list?
This list was prepared and then given to somebody, and he gave them to some of his trusted marabouts, and they called me and said, come and see whether you have any of your friends here. That's how I got the list from them.
Bitung nyingi ye kaito nyinda dale hanfo ya parendi purka di morol la bitung mono ata soto meyen kumandi ha akonya molle tolu fele safari njande na jube fodum iteri betar la nyilu kono le bang ngani kaito lu soto ngole nyama.
Because
who wrote the list? Who wrote the list?
Wala nyi tolu safe ate juma
Yahya Jammeh, yes, the former president.
Même president otino Jammeh fangale nyi tolu safe.
Are you saying he wrote the list by his hand? You said yes, sir.
Huh? Yes, sir.
Do you have the list with you? I have my copy.
I don't have the list, but I think I have a WhatsApp message that you sent me.
Okay, you open yours in your WhatsApp and I will read it out from here.
Council, is there a date on the list?
No, no date. No date. It's just a list of names.
Yes.
So may I start reading them out?
Yes,
Or maybe you want to read it out yourself. Read it out yourself.
Kuko Isamba Sanyang.
Kuko Isamba Sanyang.
Panderimbai.
Panderimbai.
Esa Bokarsi.
Read the full name.
Esa Bokarsi.
Esa Bokarsi.
Esa Bokarsi.
Esa Hawa Bokarsi.
Esa Hawa Bokarsi.
Yes.
Yes, read the full name because that is important, huh?
All be for the year for Abisafrinya.
Wada, Senegalese president.
Aning Abdoulaye Wade, Senegal la president.
Karim Wada.
Karim Wada.
Sanabi Sabali.
Ah?
Sanabi Sabali.
Sanabi Sabali.
Sehu Sabali.
Sehu Sabali.
Usainu Dabo.
Usainu Dabo.
Khalifa Salah Doy.
Khalifa Salah member Doy.
Henry Gomez.
Henry Gomez.
GPDP.
GPTP. Dr. Boro Susil.
No, you missed the name.
Isaunda model tola.
Hamad Ba.
William Jibari.
Hamad Ba.
Hamad Ba.
Hamad Ba.
Hamad Ba.
Dr. Boro Suso.
Dr. Boro Suso.
Lieutenant Landin Sane.
Lieutenant Landin Sane.
Baba Kajali Job.
Aning Baba Kajali Job.
Serif Ba Job.
Serif Ba Job.
Pasala Jan.
Pasala Jan.
Ibrahim Ismaila Chongan.
Ibrahim Ismaila Chongan.
Captain Edward David Singate.
Captain Edward David Singate.
Captain Peter Singate.
No. Look at it again.
Ajube Kuba.
I don't know.
Lieutenant Colonel Peter Singate.
Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Singate.
Lieutenant Colonel Peter Singate.
Tombon Seidi.
Tombon Seidi.
Turo Jaune.
Turo Jaune.
Duta Kamaso.
Duta Kamaso.
Fode Makalo.
Fode Makalo.
Usainu Mbenga.
Usainu Mbenga.
There is another name just in the box created on the right.
Modo tobe jele membe kol.
SOS Justice Keba Sanyang.
Justice Keba Sanyang.
Next.
Samuel Sarr, Minister of Energy Senegal.
Samuel Sarr, Minister
Energy
of
Senegal.
Energy Senegal.
même Marta Malafengol la Sénégal.
Cheikh Tidiane
Gajo.
Juma
Cheikh Tidiane Gajo.
Cheikh Tidiane Gajo.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Senegal.
Wala minister ti membe Senegal ni bandala bankolu tema.
Baboucar Blaise
Ismaila Diagne.
Ismaila Diagne.
Ismaila Diagne.
Baboucar
Blaise Ismaila Diagne.
Blaise Compaoré, Burkina Faso.
Blaise Compaoré, membe Burkina Faso.
President Blaise Compaoré, Burkina Faso. Read it all.
President Blaise Compaoré, Burkina Faso, la président.
Next.
President Muammar al-Gaddafi, Libya.
President Muammar al-Gaddafi, membe Libya.
Idrissa Seck, Senegalese former Prime Minister.
Idrissa Seck, Senegal, la Prime Minister Koto.
Alaji Bora, I don't know, Manjang or
Manjang.
Alaji Bora Manjang.
Manjang.
Bora Manjang.
Awa Sise Sabali.
Awa Sise Sabali.
Amina Fall Sonko.
Amina Fall Sonko.
Antuman Gay, lawyer.
Lawyer Antuman Gay.
Ablai Kujabi Dobong.
Ablai Kujabi Dobong.
Ansumana Kujabi.
Dobong.
Ansumana Kujabi Dobong.
Mustafa James Kujabi.
Dobong.
Mustafa James Kujabi Dobong.
Alaji Maifati, GMC Party.
Alaji Maifati, GMC Party.
So the two other names, Sidia Jata and Buru, I think it's a repetition of the first name.
What?
Yes. Sidia Jata, PDOIS.
Sidia Jata, Doi.
And then?
Buros, Dr. Buros, is it Boros?
Boros Suso.
Dr. Boros Suso.
Again, second time.
You know, Sinya Flanja on Tobe Fola.
And no, Dr. Sirif Sise.
Dr. Sirif Sise.
Yes.
Aha.
Lieutenant Bakari Kamara.
Lieutenant Bakari Kamara.
Superintendent Malafi Sanyang.
Superintendent Malafi Sanyang.
Mariam Jack Dentin.
Mariam Jack Dentin.
Modu Kadicham.
Modu Kadicham.
Madike Sipiter Jallo.
Madike Sipiter Jallo.
Next page.
Kari Fulanyang. Sabanyang, sorry.
Panyelis
Suare. Panyeling Suare.
Panyeling Suare.
Karamo Fati.
Salikenye.
Karamo Fati Salikenye.
Lieutenant Colonel Usain Nur Cham.
Lieutenant Colonel Usain Nur Cham.
Major Khalifa Bajinka.
Major Khalifa Bajinka.
Zag Zigno.
Juma?
Zak Zignu.
Zak Zignu.
Emma Hart.
Emma Hart.
Peter Gomez.
Go back. Emma Hart.
Sky News.
Thank you.
Juma?
Emma Hart, Sky News.
Emma Hart, Sky News.
And that was the lady who was busy
disseminating
information about the execution of the West African migrants in Gambia. Correct? Correct?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Peter Gomez, Radio Gambia.
No, is it radio announcer? Or is it Radio Gambia?
Radio announcer, yes.
Yes, it's radio announcer. Yes.
Juma?
Peter Gomez.
Peter Gomez.
The Point newspaper.
Juma?
Say it again.
Pap Sen.
Pap Sen.
Point newspaper.
Point newspaper.
Madi Sise.
Anim Madi Sise.
Journalist.
Journalist.
Journalist Fatu Jaumane. Journalist.
Journalist Fatu Jaumane.
The same Babukar Ismail Bless Jan, US.
Babukar Bless Ismail Jan, UN.
Member UN.
UN. Yes, Modu Sise, UN.
Modu Sise, Ufanambe UN.
Ablai Balde, Senegal.
Ablai Kande, Senegal.
Ablai Balde.
Ablai Balde, Senegal.
Fode Makalo.
Ah?
Fode makalo.
Fode makalo yo fole num.
Kora Sala.
Ah?
No, Koro Sala, Sweden.
Koro Sala, Sweden.
Correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Wala mkodi.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Akoy tenten.
Yes, it's not clear here. I cannot read it.
It's Lieutenant Yankuba Baji.
Lieutenant Yankuba Baji.
Formerly
Kanilai Camp Commander.
Kanilai Post.
Kanilai Post.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Mulamin Sidat Job.
Momodu Lamin Sidat Job.
Momodu Lamin Sidat Job.
Bakari Njai.
No. Dr. Sirif Sise. Dr. Sirif Sise.
Dr. Sirif Sise.
Again, a second time. Go ahead.
Mr. Bakari Njai.
Mr. Bakari Njai.
Yes, continue.
Jibril Job.
Mr. Bakari Njai, what followed?
Gamtel.
Formerly of Gamtel. Correct?
Formerly member of Gamtel.
Yes.
And then?
Jibril Jabate, USA.
Jibril Jabate, member America.
Last, I don't know who is Modlam, I don't know who it is.
It's not clear.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me make this point very clear here.
Yes.
You see, there was a time they formed NAD. Now, is it the coalition government?
No, not a government, a coalition party.
What sort of the coalition party?
Government NAD. These were people who are going to come to form a government agency, like when you go to campaign.
Ilota yaman sakunda londi atakama wole ulta campaign la lankene maro.
Yes, so he has to make sure he can do it in powers. Here, let me make it clear. It wasn't to kill them, but to make sure they will never come together and form a coalition agency.
Itongala fero monumenti wole mnyintiko abe kule taman la me alon ko nyi molu te silo sotonna pour se benk campaign ke pour bate wulindi la nyame.
Mr. Witness, was Abulai Wada going to be in a coalition with any one of these people?
But said for Abulai Wada fata fana be kala modi me alon ko ni better la ko ale son kilimba.
Was Sana Sabali going to be in a coalition with any of these people?
Council, if you allow me to talk, I can explain every single thing in detail.
No, what I notice is sometimes you backtrack from things that you have said. Mr. Witness, the information you gave me was that he wanted these people to die spiritual, to be killed spiritually.
Because what I'm saying, there are evidences, please.
Look, if it was just to keep their mouths, why would these sherings, these marabouts, call you to check whether you have a relative in the list? If it was just to keep their mouths shut.
I said, it was never to kill, whatever happened to them, but it was, because, listen, when Jam, in fact, he was advised in a million years, let him never ever arrest Lawyer Dabo, because as long as Lawyer Dabo is free, there will never be coalition in Gambia.
Amonde akubaka umemfole mnyindiko ni Lawyer Dabo free ba fambulu woto saying coalition woto sotonola Gambia.
Yes, he was giving that advice in a million years. At the same time, you know, Fatma Tambajam, when he came out, I spoke to some people. I said, this is the end of Jamia, because he was giving the advice, there will come out a lady, let him, you know what I mean? If that lady come out of campaign, he can let him do everything possible to make sure he get the lady on his side. If not, that's end of his regime.
Itumana take wala mnyintiko brim Fatma Tambajam fintita kenema nga nyinta fanga nyina mitako woto jammela wato bantale katu ni muso findita hanfo inindoli e nyomo e kambe ngoketa ate munta te la kolbe dar na wala
but the thing is, the point I am making is
the point o mem findindi gam fokam
what you told me
was
that this list
wala nyintolu
were the list of his worst enemies, correct?
Sir, Sir, like I said, Edward David Singate, Yaya Jammeh never seen as an enemy. In fact, yeah, I can tell you even how Edward got dismissed. If you allow me to explain.
No.
Here and there, sir.
That is not so relevant. Let's stick to this point, and we finish it and we moved on. You told me out of the commission hearing that this is the list of his worst enemies.
Ye infonye commission wato mandra siyo kono folo ko nyille molti tolti min yan ko nyinne wata jawolti.
He didn't see them, all of them, as people. Some are his enemies, yes, but some are oppositions that he don't want them ever to come together to form a party against them. That's what I'm saying. This one
amanke abeti de ako dolu ma jawolti. Bari dolu wolem nyintiko amalla fi woliye kafu nyoma ye den na party londi pour kate kelendi politiko la karola pour ka boyindi.
Is it he was advised if as long as Lawyer was free, there will never be a coalition. That's that was the end of his story.
We are going to a different topic. Let's stick to this issue. The purpose of this list is that he wanted these people neutralized because they were an inconvenience to him, correct?
No, sir.
Well, that's not what you said. Okay, let me read out our conversation. When this issue of this list came up, this is what you said. These are the people who he thinks were his worst enemies. That is from you.
Yes.
You had previously told me that he wanted them dead. That's why he gave the names to his marabouts. And the marabouts call you to check whether there is any of your relative on the list. And for that reason, I sent you, just a moment, I sent you a message. And I said, he wanted them killed. And then you said, you gave me a correction, spiritually. So clearly, clearly, what the information you gave me was that he wanted these people dead spiritually. And that is why there is no direct connection between people on the list. It's just a... We can't have a push and pull on here. Why would Jammeh want Blaise Diagne to be killed spiritually or Gaddafi and other people? What I'm trying to tell you here is simple. Did you expect that Blaise Diagne would be in a coalition with my party? Did you believe that Blaise Diagne was going to be in a coalition with Mamadou Kadi Cham? Just a moment. Did you believe that Blaise Diagne was going to be in a coalition with Samuel Sarr, Minister of Senegal? Do you believe that Blaise Diagne was going to be in coalition with President Blaise Compaoré? Do you believe that he was going to be in coalition with Idrissa Seck? Do you believe that he was going to be in coalition with Antoumane Gueye, who never dabbled in politics? Do you believe that he was going to be in coalition with Ansoumana Kujabi? Do you believe that he was going to be in coalition with Mustafa James Kujabi? Do you believe that he's going to be in coalition with Sidi Ajata? This is a mumbo-jumbo list of all sorts of people Yaya Jammeh hated.
You have your own belief. Allow me to explain every single thing. If I said on the text and you don't want me to say exactly and explain, the text was a shorting thing. You want them killed. I said no, spiritually. But here I'm telling you, not everyone who was on that list. And I said, I'll take an example.
Okay,
if
all right.
Chongan,
okay.
With anything, anytime we talk,
okay. Who
highly of Chongan?
Who
is one of the most honest police officers I've seen.
Yes.
And then,
but Yaya Jammeh hated Chongan. He hated Chongan.
Yeah, Jammeh Chongan.
If people say that, what I do know is we did have conversation.
He
about
admired
Chongan,
him, but he hated him.
People always talk about them, highly of them, please.
Yes.
He even said openly on TV, everyone had it.
He admired him, yet he hated him.
Well, he said he's the most honest person you've ever worked with. In fact, with Jaiso,
or rather, he envied him. Okay. All right. Who in this list did he want dead? The list.
Kukoi Sambasanya, number one.
So Kukoi was to die. Next, Panderi Mai was he to die?
No, stop talking about him at all.
But that shows his visceral hatred for Panderi.
Well, because at the time we all knew Pandri at the time he was always on top of Jammeh.
Counsel and witness, can you just give maybe a minute or two for the interpreters? For them to just give a gist of what list you're talking about. I think the people need to know.
Yeah. Well,
exactly
here is a list. Let me help.
Or maybe you can help them.
Give them. Here is a list. A 3-page document. And it's a list handwritten by Jammeh. And he's named a lot of individuals. About close to 40. Or a little more. Whom, according to the witness, when he first spoke to me, these people were Jammeh's worst enemies.
He see them as his enemies, yes.
He wanted them dead spiritually.
No.
Just a moment, I'm just recapping. So he prepared this list and gave it to his marabouts. When the marabouts received the document, they called him and explained to him that they have received this list from Jammeh. Whether or not he has any relative on the list. So he took the list from them and refused to give it back to them. So he kept the document. And he kept it with someone who was able to send it back to us for the purposes of this hearing. The witness now says that that everybody in the list was meant to die spiritually. There were some in the list whose mouths were just meant to be zipped, so that they wouldn't go about talking about Jammeh. I see you shaking your head. Are you shaking it in agreement? Thank you very much. So now,
thank you. That's a good summary.
Now I want you to tell the commission who was meant to die and whose mouths were meant to be zipped.
Pandering was not to talk about him anymore.
Panderi was zip mouth.
Panderi wala mnyento kana kuma fuala koto.
So any opposition member being named there was never, so that they will never ever come together to form a coalition against him.
Okay.
Opposition molu menu fanalu tolu fota je. Puru nene kana nyomo ka kafu nyoma puru isilo ka fero ke puru kate boindi.
And
any Senegalese what's the name, diploma or whatever being named there, so that they will never ever have the chance to say they will sponsor the oppositions to work against him.
Wala mnyinti Senegal nkolu menu fanalu tolu fota je. Ikana fere soto ikana sila soto nyaunyandi nyama men ya lonko isi kuta mandi mensi ke mako roti ite Gambia la Karola,
because it came at a time he and Ablaye Wade, their relationship was no more good.
Kadu nyinata wato la wato mengatening Ablaye Wade temo mantara diaring.
And then Gaddafi was a friend of Baba Job.
Andung Gaddafi fana nata ke moleti me ya lonko Baba Job terilom.
Yes, but okay. Let's say
Mr. Jallow.
Yes.
You have changed your mind.
I did.
Just a moment. But you have to.
I have to be very honest to Gandhi.
You have to hear the question. You have to hear the question first.
Yes.
Okay. Show me what in the document showed who was to die and whose mouth was to be zipped.
I can't name everybody because you have some.
No, listen to the question.
Yes.
The document contained just a list of names. Okay? Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Is there anything in the document which shows who was to die and whose mouth was meant to be zipped?
Okay. This is, well, what happened is like when I took the document from them, I did have a conversation with Jammeh, and he's always been complaining about this coalition. He want to make sure they will never form a coalition against him. Example when they form now,
Mr. Jallow, answer my question. You are now answering a different question.
I am not there to tell you who and who he wants to die. I'm trying to tell you the conversation I had with him, counsel. He told me he want to make sure they will never ever come together.
Look, we are talking
as his enemies.
We are talking about your conversation with the marabouts.
Yes,
okay, how were the marabouts? Just hear me out. How were the marabouts to know who was to die and whose mouth was meant to be zipped?
You see, when they came, they were looked at.
I want them to show the list. Yes?
When they came, they were looked at somewhere else.
Where? I want them to show the list.
You know Mataru Jaju, the Rasula?
No.
Well, some people may know him. Most of the things happen between them. You know what I mean? But sometimes, let me be honest here, sometimes I do make interpretations when they come to Jammeh, yes.
In fact, when this list was being prepared, you were present. You were interpreting for Jammeh. But this is the information you provided before. That when this list was being prepared.
No, listen, sir. I said they called me because they also knew me now. They've been coming for long. You see, there are things that he would not like me to know, and he can get me involved.
Okay, all right. But you see, the problem with this testimony is that these guys were given a list.
Yes.
Some to die, and some whose mouths were meant to be zipped. Some who were never to come in a coalition together. Some who were not to provide funding. So you have a list of people who were not, who were to suffer different things. Correct? Show me what in the document was the distinguishing factor. How were they to identify who was to die, who was not to provide funding, whose mouths were to be zipped, and those who were never to come into a coalition?
What I do is like when I had a conversation with this Marabu, they categorically told me some are there, they said opposition members to form a coalition. But the reason why I have to come for this to make sure they never form a coalition, the reason why I came for the paper, he said they don't know who and who were there. Suppose they say that maybe just for a spiritual fight. That's what I said. And that's the time they asked me to take the paper and then tell them who and who are like, if I have friends there. And I said, listen, I knew people here, don't even do it. And I took the paper from them. So that happened between me and the Marabouts.
Okay, afo maninga kango.
kabirin ñim moro la ñin kaytol soto yen kumandi la ka jube fon te teri tije because kabirin ñim listo be tafela man son pour na la même keri so kabirin de tata e konye ko a jube fo kafu ñol dol tijam because ñin listo be dal mo jamal le bi jan dol bi je ako wol bu ko position pour kana kambe e kana silo soto e ka political form against him dol bi je pour wol kane ma ko ka kono dile la pour campagne against him ko bar dol bi jakonga wol do ko pour tora fa so pour tanga nga jube fonte tere ñol bi je ndefa na ka kayto tay bulu koy ko amanko ali ala mun al kana ke fa nali ani kala fa ali akele but al kana fa ko ndeka kayto ñin tale
but hold on, let the interpreter just come back.
No, what happens is if
he has already interpreted.
He has interpreted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Witness, I have asked you this question. But perhaps before then, let me just ask the cameraman to show the list on the screen so that people would have an idea.
You said it on WhatsApp. I do have the list.
Yes. I mean, let the camera people show the list on the screen so people would see what is the subject of the conversation.
Barunga camera manole puri camera lo ni mo tolbe safarin kayto membal isaje la moyor la ni juber la fanan sa long munem ni wala dadi bemmen kacha kanten
Ovi Van, please pick the shot.
How many pages there, Council? 4? 3.
Could you zoom into it? I can clearly see the names of Usainu Dabo, Halifa Sallah, PDOIS, Henry Gomez, GPDP, Hamad Ba, Dr. Boro Suso, Lieutenant Landing Sane, Baba Kajali Job, Sirif Ba Job, Pasala Jany, Ibrahima Ismaila Chongan, Captain Edward David Singate, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Singate, Tombong Sedi, Turo Jaune, Duta Kamaso, and then I couldn't read the thing under the logo. Okay, show the other page. Obi Van, pick the shot, please. Yes, Samuel Sarr, Minister of Energy, Senegal, Cheikh Tidiane Gadio, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Baboucar Blaise Ismaila Diagne, President Blaise Compaoré, Burkina Faso, Mohamed Gaddafi, Libya, Idrissa Seck, Senegal, former Prime Minister, Alaji Bora Manjang, Hawa Cissé Sabali, Amina Fall Sonko, oh my God, Antuman Gay, lawyer, Abdoulaye Kujabi Dobong, Usman Kujabi Dobong, Mustafa James Kujabi Dobong, Alaji Maifati GMC Party, Sidi Ajata PDOIS, Dr. Boro Suso, Dr. Sirif Sise, Lieutenant Bakari Kamara, and then the others I could not read it because of the position of the camera. Lieutenant Bakari Kamara, Mariam Jack Dentin, Momodou Kadi Cham, Madike Sipiter Jallow. Give us the third page. The third page, the print is not very good. It would be difficult. It would be difficult to get it, but let's give it a shot.
Council, does the witness have the signature page with Jammeh's signature?
The person who kept the document said he cannot find the last page which contained the names of the United Nations personnel and Jammeh's signature. but I know 100% that this is Jammeh's handwriting. In fact, we have a sample of his handwriting here in some of the memos. We are certain that this is Jammeh's handwriting, no doubt.
Lata nyina ko nyimuya Jammeh la safero de kadunga sampulo nga misalo dol soro jana yalon ko ate fon le kayto dol sabe mi yalon ko memo le menu tamata ala office ko no lata nyina ko nyimma la safero
So with this, Mr. Witness, I ask you this question. What in this document was to identify in this 40 to 50 names who was to die, whose mouth was to be zipped, who was not to provide financial assistance, who was not to go in a coalition, who was to leave Jammeh in peace? What in this document was there to show it?
There is nothing there to show it. But what I do know is like, let's say for the opposition, this is not the first time he's been doing it. He's been doing it for so long that they will never ever come together to form a coalition against him. That's there.
But okay. This list you had given us as the list, the to-die list. But nonetheless,
no, I never said to die. Please don't put words in my mouth.
No. Actually, I have produced the messages. You said they were to die spiritually.
Right. But the message doesn't go in detail. You said died, and I said no, maybe spiritually, but you didn't give me the chance to say everything.
All right.
Be honest here, sir.
You've stated your position. The commission has noted it. Let's move on. Okay. There is still a lot of ground to cover.
Just before you leave that, Mr. Jallow, as there is no date on this list, do you recall when you were given this list? What time? I mean, what year? Maybe
sometime around 2007 or 8. Certainly before election, it could be before not this other election, because he wanted to make sure they will never ever come together to make a campaign against him.
Okay. 2007, you would think. No, 8.
Yeah, something of that nature.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Witness, on the list, we can add the 57 West African migrants who were killed in Gambia. I'm not going to say, if you want to add it, go ahead, but I will never ever add that, sir. No. Listen. Listen to the question. Yes. Okay. I said on the list of killings by Jammeh, we can add the 57 West African migrants who were executed in Gambia.
No. Why? No.
Why?
Because they are alive and he don't have the intention to kill them. Why would you add people who are alive to people who are dead? That's not fair.
Are you with us?
Yeah, ye ganan kolu menu fa Gambia banko kanjang abewole mapuru kawlu fana lu lafa ni modolu kam men ya lonko ila saya lonta ye fa ni banko kan abewla ma ama fa ni list me ila banta falaten wontende ako ganan kolu menu fata jang.
I have no say in that. I'm only saying those who knew they died. The Ghanaian, I have no idea about it. I don't know who and who was behind it. So if you wish to go ahead, sir, with due respect, you can go ahead, sir.
But he confessed to you.
Yes.
Do you need anything more?
I'm asking you, sir, with due respect, do you need to say anything more than what you know now?
You are the one testifying. I'm not the one giving evidence. Jammeh confessed to you. Okay, just hear me out. Just hear the question. Jammeh confessed to you that he ordered that these people.
No. Point of rectification, sir.
Okay.
Jammeh have never given, I have to be honest here. I have to be fair to the Gambians and fair to anyone who's listening to me here. He have never told me, I gave the orders for them to be killed.
Yes.
Hear me out here. He said he have been misled by Tumbul on so many occasions, and the security came and told him these people were mercenaries.
And then?
And then he gave orders for them to be dealt with, only to realize most of the things that Tumbul have been telling him in life were all lies. He's been telling this so that I can be honest with you.
Just hear me out. Do you believe that Tumbul Bombardier, and the rest of the junglers, Mali Jata and others, would go and kill 57 people in Gambia, and Jammeh did not sanction it?
Sir, with due respect, I can't answer that because I do know people who are sent to mile without Jammeh knowing. So this is something that is way beyond me. But I wasn't there when others were giving.
We know the answer because you told us before.
Just listen. These people are branded as mercenaries.
Just listen. Previously you told us nobody in his right mind in Gambia would dare kill these people, 5 people, and Jammeh did not authorize it. You told us that here.
Sir, you missed the point. I said we talk about Lawyer Silla and then Jammeh's word and then General Baji's word. I said about the 2006 problem. I said Jammeh was being brief. You have brief and debrief. So
Mr. Jallow, okay, when you, after this hearing, go back and revisit what you have said.
Okay. For the past 20 years, I have nothing to revisit. I have everything in my head.
Okay, go back.
I do not want to say things that I didn't hear from him, sir.
Go back.
All what I'm trying to tell you.
Mr. Jallow, you have to listen. You cannot, we cannot just be talking over one another. You have to listen.
All right, sir. I'm sorry about that.
You told the commission before that no right-thinking person would do that, would kill people here in this country, you see, among the soldiers, without Jammeh sanctioning it. You told us before.
I've never said that, sir. Over a million people are watching me. I've never said that.
Okay, all right. Those over a million people would go back and watch the video. Yes. Okay. And people would show where you said it. And I can assure you that you did say it. Okay, no problem, you did not. Okay? You know that these Ghanaians were killed by the junglers. They confessed on national television and you saw it, you heard.
Sir, would you underline the word no? Because this is an English term.
Okay.
You wouldn't say I know. I heard, but I didn't know.
Okay,
Please.
okay, you heard.
Yes.
And you also heard Jammeh's confession to you.
And the security apparatus have misled him on so many things, that especially with the Ghanaians, because a group was being arrested and they were deported back home because of his orders. But this one, they took their money and then they came and gave him lies saying they are mercenaries. Yes, I did have that.
And that he ordered that they be dealt with.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they were dealt with.
Well, in the word dealt with, whether it was to kill them or not, I'm not there to interpret that. But from what I heard from the terrorists, they've been killed.
Okay, but when Jammeh spoke to you, he was expressing his regret.
Yes, on so many things.
Because he was misled into the action he took.
Yes.
Okay, and what we know from the junglers is that, well, they received orders to kill these people.
Well, that's what we heard from the junglers, but he didn't tell me kill, not the word kill.
But Sehu, what you are doing now is you are chickening out from your earlier position that he ordered these people killed.
Listen, sir. I make an oath, join the Gambian National Army to serve my country. I sit here today, took a Quran and swear to tell the truth. Whatever word I'm saying, I will be on my own.
Okay. Let me change.
To be very honest.
Let me change the approach.
Yes, sir.
Accusations were made against Gambia government that the Gambia government killed these West African migrants.
Correct?
Correct? And Jammeh knew these accusations.
Yes, sir.
And that is why he disliked Emma Hart.
wala ya sabu nying emahat ay kong.
And the accusation was these were killed by Gambian forces.
Andong tumiro mem fora wala nyindiko Gambia la saravisi bunda do kula mul wolle nyimol fa.
Did Yaya Jammeh arrest any of the Gambian forces?
Fo Yaya Jammeh mo soro la bay mem muta nyi saravisi la do kula kono ba.
I've never heard about it.
Mamoy.
Didn't in fact the government cover up the fact that these people were killed by Gambian forces?
Gambia mansakunda fa maboro ka ko nyinde kay bala nyinde ka ko nyim Gambia la saravisi do kula ma nyimol fa.
Could you answer now?
From what I'm hearing from the TRC, obviously 100% yes.
So you want to believe that Jammeh would go to the extent of covering up this execution if he had nothing to do with it?
Council, it's been said loud and clear. We had almost 1 week or 2 weeks of this testimony. I was equally shocked like any other Gambian, hearing and knowing all these people have been killed here. Yes, he knew about it, because if not, I don't think all this 40-something murder in this country will happen in such a magnitude.
But you are military. You are a soldier. You are an officer.
Yes, sir, I was.
And you know the concept of command responsibility. If soldiers under your command carried out a criminal offense, carried out a criminal act,
Yes, sir.
and you know about it, and you do not punish them, and you guilty and you responsible for that crime under the law of command responsibility?
Of course, yes. I have to punish them. If I don't punish them, I knew about it.
Exactly. And did Jammeh arrest or punish anybody? So from there, wouldn't he be responsible for the crime? Under the law you just described?
Am I allowed to say collateral damage happened here because he's been lied to? I'm not there to say let him be responsible or not. The court of law will prove that to him.
Okay, let's pursue that line. Collateral damage existed here. That's what you said.
Yes.
So he's been lied to, correct?
Yes. Yes.
He made a decision on the basis of that lie. That decision was implemented.
Yes.
He regretted the decision. He regretted the consequence. And the consequence is the death of these Ghanaians.
From what I heard from TRC, obviously, yes.
So who is responsible?
I will allow the commission to decide that. I'm not there to give
Thank you very much. We would move on. I know you are scared to call the kettle black. But what you ega so we move on. Huh?
There is no scary in my vocabulary. Ask anyone who knows me. Those who know me will tell you who I am. I have no fear in me.
Maybe you are shy. Maybe you are shy.
Well, I am shy.
Or ashamed for your dad.
I will never, if I was ashamed, I wouldn't say all the killers of Mercy and others. I am here to tell you.
Okay, all right. Okay, let us move on. The commission would add 57 to the list. That would take us to 67 killings.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that you accept. Let's move on. And
I
now,
did not accept about the other killings, yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's go ahead, yes, sir.
And now, let's talk about the witch hunting.
Can we talk about Fort Bullen and then we go to the witch hunting, or you want to go to the witch hunting?
Let's go to the witch hunting. We would go to Fort Bullen.
Yes.
But let's first talk about the witch hunting.
Yes.
Why was there a witch hunting in this country? It looks like there was a fascination for witches at State House during those days. So tell us why.
Okay, we have
heard about the story of Cisse Bujiling.
Interpreters.
Yes, so
Sorry.
I heard people saying this witch hunters were from Guinea-Conakry. They were not.
Yes, proceed. Mandinka interpretation. I have heard that these witches are from Guinea-Conakry. No, they are not.
Bualde malalle bota Guinea Conakry fo bualu fangolo. Bualde malalle bota nang Guinea Conakry kana.
No, but that is not true.
Pero manke to nyati.
Proceed, please.
These people they are Guineans by nationality, but they were in Tambacounda in Senegal.
Yimolu mu Guinea ko leti tonya bari ibe sirin Tambacounda le Senegal banko ka.
And then they were introduced to Solo Bojan through the former deputy commissioner of URR. I can't remember this name. He's a small guy.
Mole yedin Solo Bojan yitandi nyola meya lonko. Wole mu kumandango nolan koti num base banko kang nyinata amari tolalde morin ngole morin doyaringo bari wole ni Solo Boja yitandi nyola.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
So one day we went to Kanila. In fact, I was not supposed to go, and Jame asked me to join the convoy.
Lunkiling nyanta tala kanilai. Ndema nyantala nunde bari Jame fangole ko ngakafu convoy o ma molu meni yalon ko lebitaji.
We were at the 4 houses. There's a place, I think you guys have been there, 4 houses in Kanilai.
Ndata mfutata dingirato 4 houses wale bunnano be dame.
Ha.
Mtata hanfo dinkirato bunnano be dame.
And then we were having barbecue.
Be barbecue la je wale subujani kanyimi kasubujani kanyimi.
Solo Bojan came.
Could you take that again, sir?
Solo Bojan came with
No. Could you go one step backwards?
Having
barbecue.
Mbe subujani nyimole la je subujani re nyimo.
Proceed.
Solo Bojan came with these people. They went inside one the Taj. It's not in the 4 houses, but there's another Taj house there. They went inside there with Jame and these people.
Bungol menu bije bung sabanjango bije dame ya lonko Solo Bojan na banke roto nyimolu idunta bungole kono ngamira inin Jamele dunta je.
So they start talking, and then there was a problem of misinterpretation.
Ye diamo follow jele bari kanna soro na ta kolea.
I happen to be somebody who can speak Jola, Mandinka, Wolof, and Fula.
Nde nata mo long menke nde nata ke moti menya lonko nsi Jola ni Mandinko ni Fulo fono.
So they call on me to come and interpret between them.
Between yente kumandi purngata kanna soro laji.
So these people were telling him, like, if they have drums, if they drum the drums, like if they must start doing their drummings.
Nyimolu ba fo kanjele ko niye la tantang lu soto.
Niye la tantang damuta ka kosi.
Niye la tantang koso damuta.
Wherever in which is he or she will come.
Buabe dawoda niteli la tantang lu kosi bua tantang lem buabe dawoda be findilanan.
So this become very interesting even to me, to be honest.
Bitung nyinkona take kuti meye molu sola haninte fango akwoyen sola.
So Jamme asked them Solo to take them to Kanilai.
Otumolen Jamme nata nyimfo Solo yokwesi kweye samba Kanilai.
Why?
And he said to tell the villagers there is a meeting, he himself is coming.
Kwe mbegube kerimbarate fango abinalale.
So soldiers were assigned to go and give them protection.
Bitu ye sojaro lutombo menu nyanta tala katanyi molu kanta.
And who were these soldiers?
At that time, I cannot name soldiers because there were many soldiers for the first day.
Otembo de nta fono la menu mo katu sojar jamal le bije nun kabiringo lungola.
Was Solo Bojan there?
Solo Bojan Solo Bojan was there, yes.
Solo Bojan bijele.
Who else could you remember?
Myself, I was there.
Akata fongo bije.
And who else?
Young Mustafa Baji was there.
Mustafa Baji bije. Ani?
Kankoli is a driver, he was there.
Kankoli. Drive for them, Abije.
Yes.
And who else?
And the July 22nd people were there, the boys and girls.
In July 22nd, Kafo Mulu, Sunguru Kamba, Ningulu, Fanali Bije.
Could you say that again, please?
The July 22nd youth action group people were there.
July 22nd, La Funding Kafo Mulu Bije.
Proceed.
So some of the soldiers were there because we were given the impression Jammeh was coming there, so there was an advance team. So I can't name who and who.
Between Yanine telling a Sobit and Yanine Miranunko, Jammeh from Binala, Le Purka, Kafui Magia, Betum Aninso Animul, Barimal and Juman in Juma.
Proceed.
So while we were there,
Bija to Momena,
these people start drumming.
Yumoli Tantan Koso Damuta.
Was that
and they have mirrors with them?
Adum Famfelendangu Fanalu Bebulu.
Was that authorized by Jammeh?
Huh?
That was authorized by Jammeh?
Yes. 100% yes.
Jamele Bulala.
Proceed.
So out of curiosity, the villagers start coming out.
Kumpo Kama, Sateo Molu Damuta Kafintina.
Or out of result of being witches?
The message saying that these people are Jammeh was coming to the village.
Mumfeng?
Because what more Kibaro Kilo Jammeh from Canale.
Yeah, okay.
Myself, I was in the belief that he was coming, but he didn't come.
Because he see Botalepa at the phone Yantanala Baramanna. Yo, okay, I quit from Latala ko Abinala, Barata from Manana.
So some people were apprehended that they said they are witches and wizards.
Between Atamodo Lumuta, many alonko ye Tumiko Bualemuiti Musol Ninkeulu.
And they took them to the reservoir in Kanilai.
And in a test somebody Kirato Kanilar reservoir moon, Geolek Bo reservoir to Jevan Fumanem.
Ah, Geolek, I'll tell them David.
Yo, G Dinkirale Bije, ye Sambajele.
Yes, so even my father's best friend wife was also his elate, but the wife was also picked up.
Hanim Fama Terima, Alamuso, Uyo Famo Mutale Kasamba.
And while this picking up was going on, the soldiers were providing protection.
Yes.
Proceed, please.
So they were all they took all of them to the reservoir. So here is what happened. Even, you know, some of us were even being asked to drink. Like I personally did drink it.
Utumolem inata fendada memumi mfengoti bitu ya foye puriyo ming haninda fang nga minne.
Yeah, but I did have some stomach issues, to be honest.
Bari tonya ayenkono mandile.
So when
were you forced to drink?
I drank it personally. I wasn't forced because, you know what I mean. But I drank it to see how it looks like.
Imam force purunga minde ngamin kumpole kama purunga jubi abe kala nyamin.
But those who were apprehended,
yes,
did they have to drink or it was by choice?
Well, the moment they were being picked up, they have no choice.
Bitu yemenu mutawonya wolde fereta la folia amin.
All right.
But what I do know, in fact, even at the building, Jammeh did ask some of the ladies or the staff, all of them to come and take shower and then drink the concoction.
Yo bidu be kuyeka ngotumo fong hanido kulalu dolu fong lumeni alon ko beje Jammeh ye commande le pour dolu fong le na ye nyimboro men.
And for the first day, those who were taken to the reservoir, what was the effect of this concoction on them?
When they were taken and they drank this, I can see some of them lying down on the floor on different places. And they were not saying anything that makes sense to me, to be honest, at first.
adun be diamu kan kumolu la men ya lon ko dolu la kuma kan lu fanglu dal amang ke kuma senundi
Jammeh asked for them to be interviewed.
Jammeh ko ye juma nyininka
Wala yemel mindi
pour ye interview
pour ye nyimmolu nyininka men ya lon ko ye boro nyimmin.
So I you know, to be honest here, at first I didn't believe it.
Tonya aninte fam malala num.
But then there was this lady who came out and a man who said they were responsible for the death of Solomon Jammeh, the late Solomon Jammeh.
Bare musoso tonta je men dia muta ninke men ko itelle mu moluti men ye Solomon Jammeh la saya sababu.
They said that's why Solomon died in that state of how he died, because in fact his body was like you know when in Africa they say when a spider, is it a spider, like someone they pour hot water on.
Amunta Solomon banta abalajato keta nyama ya foko ha itelle bulo ba kono amunta nin talin jalo ya ala jiobo mo balo kan amari balajato katinya nyamin bitunga amunta Solomon balaw keta wala nyama.
Yes, a lady and a man did confess they did that.
Musukiling aninke kilimbije iko itelle yoke.
At first I wasn't ready to tell Jammeh that, but Solo Bojang make sure that Jammeh knew about that.
Iko Solo Bojang aymuneke? Yo Solo Bojang mampare kafunun Jammeh.
Akate fa mampare no pour Solo Bojang yafunu ya Jammeh ko itolle
Would you allow for the interpretation, please?
Munta Solo itele mampare nun kafu Jammeh. Bari Solo Bojang tata kuma kan sindiama.
Proceed,
yes,
please.
Because I knew because Solomon was very close to him, and then I knew he was going to react.
Kato Solomon na katata nyola baba kele.
Andu ngira nyina be mabe simfata ala ko do na.
Ayalon ko na ayalon abe kubola jele.
Proceed.
Ko etende.
So when they finished confessing, and then there was also another lady that came and said,
Biringo rolu yo kuma kangulu fo musudo fanan sotonta menata o fanan ko.
He said there was this man in France, and Jammeh said, yes, he do know him. In fact, he was talking with the lady was talking with Jammeh.
Musonyim fawni Jammeh le bedia mukande bari mola kumo fo me yalon ko be fo France banko le kan.
The lady said the men have tried everything possible. He said, in fact, the mother of the lady joined them to eat one of their relatives, and when it's time for them to eat her son, she didn't want it to happen.
Yo oto amunta ilafta kule kala nyi muso dingola numbang
hani yalo ko muso nyi bama ko nyi bama bu quality so yetol ba dingo domole sa yetol lakto nem fana pour ka dala dingo domo bala taman som.
Aha, okay.
Proceed.
Ko etendenje.
So he said because they said the man was spiritually gifted, but then Jammeh, I can feel he started getting angry. He said to me, "Say, I know the guy."
Biriya mari la kumo fo bito tumolem amari nyin komole mem fana yekumo soto bari birin ya la kumo fo an fo ameta dron ya Jammeh utumolan adamu tata purka kamfa
Kato ayebo manolo.
kato ateyo mari lonne.
The lady said they use their pubic hair as a net.
Eko musonyin ko aya aduma tiwo ayoleta purka dada ko jalo.
And they got the guy and then killed him around a castle farm somewhere in either in Nyevi or in Kanilai.
Bitung biri bulo lata mari kang iko tumole ya samba dinkirato dame ya lonko jemu ninsi la pedulality ya fajele.
Kasu farm.
Kasu balingoto.
So and then this made Jammeh very, very angry.
Biri yofo waye Jammeh kamfandi back.
He said to me, "Sew, you see, this is why phony we cannot develop."
Ako tumolo Jammeh kay bitun seku nko yajele phony nyina nante yirwanola.
Anybody who have the powers or knowledge who want to develop here, they make sure they get rid of you.
Momondi memme ye fero soto ay londo soto wala afirinta purka yirwa ika ferele ke dron yete mari dabondi je.
Jammeh said to me, now before I start developing phony, I have to make sure I clean phony. There is going to be general cleaning in phony.
Otumolo Jammeh kayan ko ntede nimpareta phony yirwandila woto mbe senayandiro le kala phony jang ka jangbe senayandi.
So after when those people were released, me being a fuller and some of them are jailers.
tumbri na taw molubula dolube kono wairi jolalem aduntemu fuloleti.
We have this jovial relationship. What I did was to buy kola nut.
Bitu memben tema wole sanawya memben ni tema ntetata ngakuru osang.
And I went to them and pleaded and said, I'm very sorry, this is never my intention and I don't want to be part of this.
Ntata ke bolo sai ngakuru osambe yanko nte mali sanawleti bari nyimen keteten amankentela nganiyoti de nte malla fala tennu.
And I said to them, I was acting on orders. I said, but inshallah, I will never be part of it and I can help anybody that I can help.
Akwe wotumo la fanan ko yanko nyim kule meya lon ko nte malla fala no bari bitun silang amanke nganiyoti bari bitun ning ala sonta mo mondi solata makoy rola nte si memmen keno makoy roto mbe mari makoy lale.
And to who did you take this kola nut?
Andu yenyum kuro samba jumale ya.
His best friend wife passed away there.
Hold on.
She passed away the following day.
Okay.
Hold on. To who did you take these kola nuts?
Ye kuro samba jumale ya.
To the elders, before we even released them, they were there at the reservoir.
Na samba kebale meni alonko wolebe dinkirato nyi menketa nu oji dinkirate.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I feel it's wrong. It's wrong. In fact, I will come to that part.
Kule me alonko amanyang.
Andu mbina je to.
Mbina futa je male amanyang.
Okay. What about it was wrong? You should allow for the interpretation.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes, what about it was wrong?
I didn't even tell Jami. I said witchcrafting have been there since the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Say I can sorry ko.
Witchcrafting have been there since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad.
Kabirin na jonyi matilo Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Buaya bekerin nenun kabiro tumo.
I said to him, fighting this wouldn't stop it. He can't do anything about this.
But what about it was wrong? What about it was wrong?
People lying down, vomiting, saying things that, you know what I mean, I don't even want to know it.
Tell us what about the process you disagreed with? What did you find repulsive about it?
Some of them, they are children are my schoolmates because I know Kanilai very well. And some of them, I've had a very good relationship with them when I was in Kanilai. So seeing someone in that state of, in that condition, I feel it's absolutely wrong.
You see, Mr. Jallow, we were not there. We want you to tell us exactly what happened there. What was it you saw that you found repulsive?
Mr. Jallow,
you know, like when
allow for the interpretation.
You know, like,
go ahead now.
Seeing women lying down, anytime they stand, they fall down, and their clothes falling down. And these people are old enough to be my father and grandmothers.
Some of them,
I am being brought up
some of them,
whereby you cannot even say,
some of them
see your parents naked. Oh.
So some of them got naked.
Dol bijele ya bije bal ila fengol be urante bala ikense male be lori.
Correct?
At keta wala nyam.
Yes.
Some of them were visibly drunk.
Ifang ikadol fango je nyala ko nyinul be dame be siraren.
Oh.
Wala keta.
Yes.
They did not have the liberty to leave.
Me fan soto kapro katara ke fan soto
kabo dingirato
kabo okay kabo dingirato.
It looks like the frame is frozen.
Sedo,
are you there, Mr. Witness?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Ako ime fan soto pro ise no ya
Correct?
Kita wala nyam.
Yes, sir.
They were being physically malhandled by Tambajiro and his fellow witch hunters.
Ifango kaje Tambajiro anamo nyolo kamai kang mami ya lonka mahani nyinya.
It was first conducted by Tambajiro.
Okay, but later by another group.
But after kafudo fana natanandi.
This is what people misunderstood. I had so many stories, but they don't understand.
Okay.
I was never part of it, Tambajiro, because he speaks Jola.
Okay. But the women and the elderly men who were there were being physically malhandled by these witch hunters.
But musolu anin kelu kebala molu minu benunge moli gele nyi moli imate kanyame manyame alon kamahani nyinya.
Correct?
No, I wouldn't say physically mishandled. All what I do is they were given concussion and they drink. There was no beating, there was no other physical punishment. No.
Ndafala ko ye murani nyala me alon ka manera e men dila wala nyindi ko ye yin borol dila ya min biri boro nyi min rong sirata be ra bankor.
And they had no choice, they had to drink it.
Bare mahani fero soto fo kaje ko boro min.
And some of them were detained there.
Dol fango ye sindi jele dula killing.
From Kanilai, those in Kanilai, I have to speak of what I knew. Some of them were detained until when the thing is from the concussion, like being dizzy and all those of they are free of it. That's the time they let them go. They ask them to go and shower again and then allow them to go home.
Kapokani lai dol nyin kabri ye mutaje ye gabri boro nyin ye mutaje la fo kabri siro nyin botela inata na ye bula yete ku biri ye ku ye bula seita.
Why did they need to shower?
Munat ne nyante kula.
They say that's cleansing up, like when your powers are being taken off from you, they shower you to cleanse you up.
But some of these victims dirtied themselves.
Council, yes, but let me tell you one thing. As soon as I see this thing going on, I made it even clear. I will come to that point because I even had a confrontation with Solo. I said I did not join the army to be a witch hunter or whatever. I joined the army to serve my people. When I saw certain things, like I said, that made me go and buy cola nut and apologize to the people.
I
asked to be there, but I'm not going to do it.
Then Solo bonya fanyo saba ko do man so nyung ten ko en ko den man sojari ala pour kana bua kantola bua de mala kantola den jo en kafre sojari ala pour kana bankole tanka.
Some of these people were defecating on themselves.
Yes.
Some were urinating on themselves.
Obviously, yes. Very inhuman.
Well, that was the word I was going to use. They were treated in a very inhumane manner.
Yes, that was very bad.
Their treatment was degrading.
Obviously, yes, it's not good.
Did Jammeh see this reaction?
There was, yes, somebody was videoing and then said when he didn't see the people in that situation, but when they are confessing, yes, he did show that.
Modu soro raja me alon ka be video ta kan kabri be diamu kan kasong ko ye tumiro melle ka be video kan.
But he was present.
No, he wasn't.
Ani amandra no mabe rin dingira nyen to de.
He was in his house.
Abala bun kono.
But from what you have said, it looks like at certain points he was present.
But if that was like a cover-up.
If he wasn't,
to allow people to come.
Yes, but if he must have been present in some sessions.
Jammeh had never attended sessions. What I do know is because one time he drove at the reservoir while the Fulanis were there, but then these people were not made to drink because he didn't want to appear in front of them, to be honest. So he wasn't.
Jammeh na mama be dingira don na fa so waro mi mol be ni reservoir ni dingira nya na raje abukala fe pare fan kama be ni dingira pour an nyun nyaay ke naniti.
But you told us that this woman confessed in presence of Jammeh. You have to allow for the interpretation.
Oh, sorry. It was not in front of Jam. It's through telephone conversation.
Amanga ya jambe fonyala kila telephone dia molde menkete tema.
As soon as he start talking, Stoller put the phone onto Jame so that Jame will hear what the lady is saying. And I was there as well. Because I was the one interpreting.
It's quite obvious. Jame knew what was happening.
Yes. No doubt about that.
He knew that these people were being made to drink this concoction.
Yes,
and he knew the impact or the effect of this concoction on these people.
Council, we were all made to understand at first that it's just going to let them talk. And then once that lady started saying about Solomon and others, it made us all believe, oh, only all this is true.
Oro nyindali lobe munyindi wala munyindi ko memme yaming imari be diamulale adum biro musol ani o ke o diamuta men folo keta diamulalti bidun telefonal be lata ko wala nyama
Were video records being kept? Are they taking?
Yes.
Ha be video lutaka nenu.
And these videos were sent to Jame to watch.
No video ya kia Jame ali porase jibe.
Hade.
So obviously he knew what was the impact of these concoctions on the victims.
Rabole nyama ya lonne nyimboro nyinia ming munebe na kela.
So in effect he saw things that made you feel that what was going on was degrading and inhumane.
Andunga alone ko etole minje ko mukule timi alon ka
you see Mr. Witness, Mr. Witness, you playing this game. You playing this game. Just hold a second. Just hold a second. You playing this game. You see,
I am not playing.
You playing this game whereby just hear me out.
I'm here to tell the truth.
You playing this game whereby whenever it is there is evidence to blame Jame, you try to dodge away from it. You agreed that, just hear me out. You agreed that video recording was kept.
Yes.
And it was given to Jame. And he watched them. And he watched them. And then you want to tell us now that Jame did not see the things that made you feel that what was going on was inhumane? You want us to believe that? You want us to believe that when he watched the videos?
Yes.
Okay.
And ask me how.
How?
When these people drink this, whatever behavior they are doing, when they are doing all lying down, whatever, at that time there was no video. No video record is being taken. The only time there have been video
go
is
ahead.
when they start confessing.
Mr. Witness, Mr.
Yes.
Witness, when they confess, they would have been at the height of their drunkenness. Just answer the question. When they confess, they would have been at the height of their drunkenness. Okay.
Yes.
So when they lose their clothing, that would not show on the video?
Exactly, yes, it wouldn't.
It would not.
No, they are not brought up at that stage. They are brought up at a time when they are fully dressed and everything like how you and I, and they start talking. But still, they may not be with their senses. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
So you want to tell us that it is only after they confess that they would lose their clothing, that is the time they would shit on themselves, that is the time they would urinate on themselves.
To confess one by one. Whatever happened to them there is no video of taking it. It is just there. But so when they come to confess, that's the time the video camera will come and video them, and Jame will hear what they are saying, and it's being sent to him. That's what I'm trying to tell you here.
Mr. Witness, you know what you are trying to avoid?
Sir,
you are trying to, just hear me out.
From them.
You have to listen to the question before you answer. You are trying to avoid saying that Yaya Jammeh saw them in that terrible state.
I'm trying to tell you what happened. Go over around all the Joint and Second Youth Action Group. So they will tell you the same.
You went with them all over the country?
No, it's all over the country. I will explain as well as time goes on.
Okay. Mr. Jallow, so you want to tell us that they confessed only at the points when they have their clothes all intact? That was the only time they would confess.
You are missing the point. You don't listen to me.
No, because you also don't allow us to translate, to interpret. This is the problem.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, may I approach, please? May I come over for a consultation?
I want you actually, if you didn't ask, I was going to call you to come.
Thank you. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
You read my mind. Thank you. Council just showed me 5 major items that would need to be covered with this witness. It's absolutely clear that we wouldn't be able to do that even if we went until 10 o'clock tonight. Therefore, we should meet exceptionally tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. We would go through these items with the witness. I hope the witness would be available tomorrow.
Sure, I am here, sir.
If you are completely exhausted, that would help us also.
Enough time.
So, thank you. Notwithstanding the announcement and the preparations that we've made today, we apologize profusely to those whom we had indicated that we would be having our last public hearing session this afternoon, and then follow with closer. So we'll meet tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. We'll go through the 5-6 items that council indicated. And we'll follow that with with the closing session.
Isaje wonin na closing section no nyeta nyole.
Yeah. Fine. Thank you all very much indeed. And again, my apologies to those who came in here on the basis of our announcement that we were closing today. So we'll meet again tomorrow morning, sharp 10 o'clock, as I said. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.